shoot me in the belly.
Look at all the space I'm creating, everybody.
Bad monkey. Bad. Oh, you got you baited so hard. I don't think I can handle any more of this bot gameplay.
Spylo.
Houston, we have a problem. What is this? Hey, what are you doing? And then in the corner, we have, I can't even turn my camera because I just adjusted things, so. Hi, Marnie, what are you doing? Hey, good to see everybody. So, and look who's here. Graham, hi, what are you doing, bud? No, he's just roaming on the chair. So, yeah, I can't move my elbows, and he seems very intent on just sitting here. I don't know what he's doing. Hey, what are you doing, bud? What? What is it? You want to sit? You want to sit? You want to sit? You want to sit? Can't decide if he wants to sit or not. So we're just going to leave it as that. Hopefully all my stream UI stuff is good, because I don't know if everything is fixed from Buff Hardtack taking over this past Saturday. So hopefully it is. Yeah, we got a relatively quiet stream today, and this time I do mean it without joking. It is going to be a quieter stream today, just a normal old coaching stream, because I have a very, very busy day today. But I figured we'll end things off with a bang, make these coaching sessions good. Good to see everybody. Dolos, Varashi, Lockie, Bouncing Frog. Can I run to the toilet? Yes, you may. I'm not sure. Yes, you have my permission to run to the toilet, whoever you may be. Are you Crash? Yeah. You're welcome. I honestly don't know what to do. Are you ready? I also have the toilet. Do I have permission? Yes, you have permission as well. In fact, everybody, just go tinkle right now. Do it right now. Get it over with. Go right now. Your mother and I are not stopping 30 minutes down the road. You are on the toilet? Okay. Well, that's good. That's impressive. Well done. I'm glad we've multitasked here. Playing up Overwatch as we speak. I can't tinkle. Your bathroom is locked. Just get the key. I don't know. Is somebody in there? Somebody's in there. Just wait, okay? You can wait 3 or 4 minutes, all right? It's not unless it's an emergency, in which case you can use your mother's bathroom, okay? But do not, and I repeat, do not use the little napkin things, those Christmas napkin things. Those are for decoration only. They are not for drying your hands. Tinkle session with Spylo. We'll have a race. Okay. Tell your mom to hurry up. All right. We're coaching, I guess. Can you pee by the tree? Yes, behind, please. Behind. Just make sure your mother doesn't see you. Yo, what's going on?
Yo, what's up?
How you doing? Nice,
okay.
nice profile picture, by the way. It's cute.
Thanks.
Getting your form pulled up right now. What hero and what rank are we looking at for the review?
It's not really a certain hero. It's just tanks in general. I used to be an off-tank player in OW1.
Okay.
So it feels like I'm going into this with like a half the power as everyone else.
Okay. Where is your form? How can I not find your form? Where's your form? I'm going to use the control. Got it. Got it. Okay. So getting the code pulled up here. So just general tank as an off-tank player going into Overwatch 2. So you're way behind, at least you feel like so.
Mm-hmm.
What rank?
GM.
GM. Okay. Let's get that pulled up here. And what do you hope to get out of the session?
I hope to find some kind of like air and consistency and be able to kind of be where I used to be, because I used to scrim a lot and I used to be pretty good and well known for playing Diva, at least in the community that I was in. So I kind of want to be back where I was at the very least, because I feel like I may not get there.
Interesting. But Diva specifically, or just the tank heroes in general?
I mean, in general, but it was cool to throw super random bombs and then get like 2 kills, and people were like, "Oh my god, the classic crash bomb."
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So you have this infamy that you have developed, and you're how old are you now? If you don't mind me asking.
18.
So you're 18 years old, and you already are like an old man on the rocking
Back in the day.
in the rocking chair in the front porch. Back in my day, I used to throw 6 KD for bombs like it was nothing. Yeah, that's a little bit concerning. You're like 50 years ahead of schedule, but I guess might as well better now.
Crisis.
Yeah, midlife crisis at 18 years old. All right,
Yeah, I'll buy the Corvette already.
Yeah. Okay. I want to stop feeling lost and helpless. I'm looking at your form here. I used to understand theory in Overwatch 1, not because I don't have that kind of coaching resources. I'm completely headless. What do you mean by that? Explain a little bit more detail, please.
So before, when I was on teams, I felt like the coaching staff I had was able to put down like it was called web theory. Back in the day, and back in the day.
Oh no, you said it again. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, we'd play like Li Jing Tower, the one you'd play like Sim Junk on that map.
Yes, a control center, yeah.
Control center, yeah. And we would force a ball sig, I believe, and
that's crazy.
we would try to play web theory pretty much. And before we started playing Zarya, so I would go in, they would start to push me, I would back up, and then the rest of the team would fold on them from angles that we created and stuff like that. And those theories all made sense.
And you were the Sigma player?
Yes, the Sigma or Zarya.
Okay. Sigma or Zarya. Okay, and then the web theory was basically what? You kind of described it a little bit there, but
they were both web theory. Because it was kind of in its, I guess, beginning stages where Zarya was played as bait. But it kind of evolved into, Sig ball meta and all of that. With the core and the rest of the team. But
and if you were to explaining to like an idiot, how would you explain web theory?
Basically, you take angles and you have a core. The core is expected to get pushed, and then everyone else creating angles is expected to engage on the team that's engaging your core.
Okay. So basically, just one angle is taking bait or pushing, and then needs to just survive while they get pincered from behind. Okay, seems reasonable. All right, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and it just feels like theories like that were placed in my head in Overwatch 1, and it all made sense because 6v6. And now, like, ever since I just hopped into 5v5 and tried to take it semi-seriously, it just feels like not the same game. It feels like nothing transfers over other than, I guess, the characters and basics in that sense, but it doesn't feel like I know what to do like I used to.
Right. Is this on all heroes and all comps and all situations and all maps and all metas in the last 2-3 months? Or is there some in particular that I felt rough?
Well, the Doom stuff I actually felt very, very strongly upset over. That whole like 2 weeks, it was kind of a nightmare because anytime I try to play Hog, because I get flamed to play into playing Hog pretty much.
Right.
I miss hooks for 5 minutes and that's the game. And then I pretty much concluded that I have to one trick Sig and then land my rock, and if I don't land my rocks that session, then I get off.
Interesting. So on the Hog, I guess, just to mess him up. Is that what you're saying?
No, on the Doom.
Oh,
it was
on the
just
Doom. I'm an idiot.
Every game.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So you basically felt really, really lost, and then you had a meta where it was like, I have to either OTP Hog, but I suck at Hog, or I have to play Sigma and then land my one ability on every single engage. Otherwise, he's just going to free farm my team.
Correct.
Okay. How about on the metas previous to that? Like Diva,
Um,
Zarya, a little bit of Winston here.
Zarya felt Diva felt good. Almost every time I felt like I was playing well.
Shocker.
That I was playing like early enough in the day. I was just flooring lobbies. Um,
Uh-huh.
Zarya though, it felt weird because Zarya without a second tank has always felt weird to me because you're playing this kind of I don't know how to explain it. It's so different, very
Mm-hmm.
different. It
Mm-hmm.
feels like forcing Zarya in Overwatch 1 when your teammates aren't helping you and don't want you to
Mm.
force Zarya.
Mm. I have a question for you. So there's definitely like it seems to be at least a couple of situations where you feel uncomfortable in Hog, you feel uncomfortable playing into Doom. You struggled with the Zarya. So what did you feel comfortable with? Let's go back to Overwatch 1. What did you feel comfortable with meta-wise or hero-wise in Overwatch 1? You broke down one of those examples on the Lijiang Tower Control Center, the Sigma, the Zarya role, your role within, and you also specified your role within a team, right? So we're kind of comparing apples to oranges right now with ranked and scrim play, right?
Right.
So let's go back to ranked, okay? Ranked in Overwatch 1, what metas did you enjoy, do well on? What metas did you struggle with? Was it just the Diva metas felt good and everything else felt bad, or I don't know? Break it down for me, please.
Well, I guess the screenplay had a lot of influence on how ranked went because I'd be playing
Naturally,
and practicing here specifically.
right?
Sig v Sig felt okay. I felt like I had a good standing in most Sig matchups against most Sig players.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've pretty much been a Zarya OTP since like GOATs.
Okay.
So I transferred from DPS to tank for GOATs
Okay.
and then just stuck to tank the rest of the way through.
Makes sense.
And then I kind of just picked up Diva halfway through my like I think halfway through Masters or early GM
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And practiced that a lot and got pretty good at that. And that's kind of what I played a lot
Mm-hmm.
apart from Zarya. So Zarya was my like comfort pick, my one trick, and then Diva was just this new hero that came up, and it felt really good because I was surprisingly good at her, I guess.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Why do you think that was? Especially coming from a
Um,
DPS player, like Diva's a bit of a jump. Like we're not just talking
um,
Roadhog here, you know?
I don't, I don't know, cause I was barely a DPS player when I swapped to tank,
Ah, okay. Okay, so not a lot of
but
old habits to break, really.
not really no.
Makes sense. Okay, so
I have like 150 hours on Genji, and then 200 on Diva, 500 on Zarya.
makes sense. Makes sense. That's a lot of hours. And sorry. Okay, so why do you think that you struggled with Overwatch 2? Have you been able to get into the or because you talked a lot about the organized team environment Overwatch 1. Have you been able to do any of that in Overwatch 2? And if so, what does it look like?
No, I have not scrimmed at all.
Right. Okay. So you have not scrimmed at all. And then what was your experience in Overwatch 1 in terms of scrimming? Was it like you were part of a team for most of your time in Overwatch 1 or off and on or where are we at exactly?
It was kind of a weird state where I didn't take school too seriously, so I was just kind of playing Overwatch as
Mm-hmm.
kind of a way to push all the rest of the energy into.
Mm.
And kind of when COVID hit and I had my COVID year,
Mm-hmm.
I took Overwatch a little bit more seriously, found a really good team. And all the teams before that were kind of either like Plat Diamond teams that may have taken the game seriously, but that was the first team that I finally felt that we were gonna go somewhere with it.
What SR
I
are you?
stuck through that for like 6 months.
The
That
team,
was like
rather.
4K 4200,
Okay. 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 All right. Keep going.
and then after that, it was just kind of downhill from there. I want to say. I was going through some mental health stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I got out of all of that rut, I found another team that was full of like ironically washed players,
Huh.
even though we were all pretty good, but we called ourselves the washing machines and it was great.
Huh.
And then I fucking broke down mentally again after that. And then uh that's kind of it. And then I haven't really played on teams much. I maybe scrimmed like once or twice since then,
Mm-hmm.
just to ring. And otherwise, here we are, Overwatch 2.
It might be a tricky question here, but do you think any of your core, like your issues with your mental or with your just general approach or feelings on the game, do you think Overwatch has had anything to do with that, or any correlation, or is it more of a positive influence?
Um,
I know that's a tough question.
it is a tough question because it's I want to say it's just been most of my life, good or bad. Like when I get off of school, I come home to play video games. I don't know. It could be, but I know that one of those ruts was because relationship
Got it.
breakup,
Okay.
and yeah,
So mostly irrelevant, but for that anyway.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about the recent one where you said you were with the 4.1, 4.2K and you had another breakdown? Was that the relationship one, or is it something else? If it's personal or private, totally keep it to yourself.
Um,
But I'm just curious.
I'm not actually sure. I don't even know if I did. I think it was more we all kind of fizzled apart. I was like, oh, this could have really been something.
Ah, I got it.
Yeah, and so I felt really nostalgic and really didn't feel like I wanted to push myself into a new team. But I think I tried a couple months later, didn't work out too well, and then a couple months after, I had the wash team.
Okay. Okay. And where are you at now? What is your like? I don't even want to look at your form for this question. I want to ask you right now. What are your goals? What do you hope to like? You talked about like, oh, I want to kind of like learn more of my place and figure out like the game theory behind it. But why? What's the purpose here? Like a lot's changed in the
Um,
last few years, I'm sure, for you. So
right.
what's the goal? What do you want out of Overwatch?
Honestly, I feel like recently in the last couple months, it's been a really good place to just push all my extra energy into because like I've been this really like ambitious kind of driven person who doesn't always feel that way, but in like I guess the ultimate overviewing arc, I kind of just have been that way. And
Mm,
when something isn't working outside of Overwatch, for example, I take on life in kind of like projects. So I have a project car right now.
mm-hmm.
So say the motor blew, which it did like yesterday. um,
Huh.
it's gonna sit. I'm gonna like pick up hours on work and get money towards it. But in the meantime, I still have to push all this energy and drive into something else. And Overwatch has kind of always been that for me.
Hmm. Has it been a positive outlet, or has it been a neutral?
I feel like positive and competitive don't really go hand in hand all the time. It feels like if you really want something to be competitive, you put your heart into it, and when stuff doesn't work, then it sucks.
Hmm. Hmm. But then the question is,
But
why are you putting your heart into it?
um,
You see,
because I think it's worth it. I don't know.
so here's a question. Like this is, let's maybe this will explain my thoughts better. If it's supposed to be a productive outlet, for example, right now, engine's
Mhm.
blown, we got to find something else to do. But so
Right.
you want to compete. So then why do you want to compete? What's the
Um,
purpose of competing in anything? And then if it's like competitive and positive don't always go hand in hand, then why compete?
because I know they can. Because I know that those once in a while 25-minute wins are really satisfying.
Right. So you're more of a I'm going to put up with some of the negative aspects of competing because I know that there every now and then will be a nice payoff, even if it's
Right.
just ranked.
I mean, there's always that game that's like 15, 20 minutes, everyone's like hard calming for absolutely no reason technically. And it feels really good because you're like bouncing ideas off each other and it's those random environments that like really feel good and take me back to the good old days.
Okay, Grandpa. When we talk about
Hmm.
competitive and positive aren't always tied hand in hand, what negatives are you implying? What negatives have you
Uh,
experienced, whether it's ranked or team environment, that Overwatch has brought to you? Because not everything is always positive, right? What are those negative things?
well, I guess it's the getting flamed in ranked. It's the I guess underperforming. Those two are the big ones. There's some toxicity, but I wouldn't say it's the biggest thing at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to ask you on getting flamed and ranked. Everybody knows that. That's always annoying. What do you mean underperforming?
Um, I don't know, just locking like Diva or a hero that I know isn't the best, but I know that if I really thought about the game actively, I could force it into it. And although I'd be doing a lot more work than a better character, I know that I have the ability to play well, but I just don't. I fall short. And then by the time I like attempt to swap to something that's easier to get value on, it's a too late snowball.
Right. And you've also chickened out too, which probably doesn't make you feel any better either. Because cool. Think about it this way. You said, oh well, I've underperformed, or this is a hero that if I'm playing well, I could have. But then you just gave up on that pursuit. Did you
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, it happens sometimes when I guess fall short and I feel like I'm falling short. And I feel like I'm letting someone down, like a teammate.
Yeah.
And then I just will swap instead of just sticking with it.
Right. Because what's the long term goal with something like that? Where the positive feelings are when you succeed at doing whatever, right? Like whenever you've succeeded and you've invested and you've got those long wins, right? But do you ever feel that sense of accomplishment when you play Roadhog?
No.
Right. So then why swap?
I mean, other than it's frustrating, I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
It just feels like
like
you take the
forcing
path
Monkey
of
or Diva would be
right. It's the path
more
of least
rewarding.
resistance. You know?
Yeah,
Where it's
and
like
that's
you're avoiding a worst case scenario by forcing a hero and then losing the game because you would rather win the game in unfavorable circumstances than lose the
then
game.
lose the game and get flamed.
Right. Right.
Oh shit.
And you can see how that's a problematic mindset because you immediately shifted. You didn't even say lose the game and feel bad about losing. That's a bad enough mindset as it is because it's freaking ranked, right? But you said lose the game and get flamed, right? So you're not even internally motivated to swap. There's an external motivation, a pressure that you're putting on yourself because you're scared of X consequence, which is forcing you to take actions into something that you're probably not going to even enjoy anyway. I'm going to give you a good example, okay? Let's say you have like a really, really difficult job or a really difficult class that you're really struggling with, but you need to finish the class to get accreditation for the degree that you want and the field that you want to pursue, okay? But the class is really, really hard, like really, really, really hard. And you've got these bad friends that are telling you just need to quit and just do an easier class and just finish your degree because like that's probably not even, it's like too hard and it's a stupid class and you know that's for nerds and whatever. And so basically TLDR, you just go to basic remedial math just to get your easy credits and then you peace out, right? Because you're scared that you're either going to fail the class or that you're going to fail the class and the people are going to make you're going to feel stupid. And then but do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
But you're not like you're not going to the class
Right,
because
right.
it's too hard. You're not going to class because you think you might fail and people around you might blame you for it.
But the problem is the problem of that mindset is it's like it's not just like a toxic thing to get into. Is it just doesn't ever stop, right? Overwatch is like a really
flame doesn't ever stop.
Right. And I will say this is like in real life, it's like let's put it this way. In Overwatch, you get flamed a lot more in Overwatch than you do in real life, right? Like imagine like every 45 minutes, or I mean, you've played.
Just
a lot, right?
someone walks past you, just like you're.
Yeah, it calls you a nerd, right? Calls you a fat, stupid, one trick, brain dead idiot. I mean that doesn't happen as often. Maybe I got lucky with where I went to school, but whatever. It doesn't happen as often as it does in Overwatch. However, the problem is that in real life, when that does happen, it hurts 10 times worse than it does in a game.
100%.
So I'm not saying that getting flamed in Overwatch is a good thing. It's a horrible thing. It's supposed to be a video game. However, if you're treating it like a competitive training outlet and you're saying you got to take the negatives with the positive, well, how about we just don't take any negatives at all? How about we turn those negatives into something that's actually positive in of itself? Because here's the thing. I would love to have a world where getting flamed and dealing with getting flamed wasn't a legitimate skill set that you have to develop. This is a great analogy for this is that I taught kids MMA and like self-defense and like how to like draw attention to themselves when they're in trouble or, how to contact the right adults when they get lost or basic self-defense things, not teaching kids how to throw an adult, but like how to like actually defend yourself to buy time to get away, to get and escape as much as you can. I would love a world where I didn't have to teach that. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. Right. It's really stupid that I have to learn and educate people on how to do that. But that's just how it is. So I ask you, is it a negative that you're having to learn to deal with being flamed in the world that we live in right now? And the answer really is no. It's not. It's just a skill set that you're going to have to develop. Now, I will say that it is a little bit like lifting weights with 5, 10, and 15-pound dumbbells. It's not much, but it's something. It's something. And if you want this to be a legitimate competitive outlet, I've worked with a lot of guys your age, right? And the problem is that if all you do is Overwatch and that is your competitive outlet, because it is more isolated than other outlets, you run the risk of not developing social skills that other people do. Some of the biggest work that I do in Overwatch League was working on those social skills in contenders and even just one-on-one. Now, I'm not saying you're socially awkward at all, obviously. But, I mean, I find this even with myself. Whenever you work a job or have a hobby that is isolated or has a weird social interaction, you run the risk of missing out on developing other skills. You know what I'm saying? So to me,
I feel like I'm gonna notice it in those other outlets as well. It's like in car scene, it's kind of like when you go to a meet, you kind of go through the like a I guess a series of steps or like common interactions.
Yeah.
And you're always going through them, so you always know the response to them and that kind of thing.
Right. To me, I look at Overwatch as like the reason why I'm so obsessive with like improvement in Overwatch and mindset in Overwatch is because it is by far the greatest strength out of playing Overwatch is learning those skills, because that's really all Overwatch has. You know, how useful is it to build the life skill of clicking and shooting? You know what I'm saying? Or cooldown management or 80-80 strafing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not useful. It's not beneficial. However, if you can learn to deal with being flamed in a small degree and ignore it, if you can learn to like set goals for yourself and learn how to build a schedule and how to set goals and accomplish those goals, or learn how to communicate with your teammates in a structured team environment, those are all actually really, really awesome and really, really useful things. And not only is Overwatch pretty good at those, Overwatch is excellent at developing those skills. I learned more about mindset and leadership and coaching from like 3 or 4 years coaching Overwatch than I did in a decade of previous teaching and coaching experience before that. And that's the same thing for you, even though you're not a coach or a player, right? You can learn so much about your mindset and your goals and your willingness to improve and dealing with being flamed and dealing with setbacks and hardship. And that all is positive. All of it is positive. But the best way to describe it is it's like being assigned a textbook in your literature class and just reading the Spark Notes just so that you can pass the test, versus like actually really, 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 really reading it and getting like
and
actually
making your own interpretations,
right,
and thinking yourself.
Exactly, and all the internal, like the self-discovery and internalized skills and things that you learn and the way it makes you changes how you think, right? Because you could just go through the motions and play the game. I mean, I know a lot of Overwatch League players that go through the motions to play the game. They finish Overwatch League and they've learned nothing outside of just grind the game and we win. That's not right. But you can actually walk away from the game and come away with like so much more of a deeper understanding of like yourself and what you need to do to improve, and to go to something completely unrelated, like car repair, engineering,
That's very
sports, and really, but it's up to how you invest your time in it. Not just how much you invest your time, but how you invest your time into it. So when you say the nature of competition is that there's not always a positive outlook, I agree with you, but it doesn't have to be that way. I play a lot of competitive flag football tournaments all along the East Coast, people traveling from all over the Eastern Seaboard. And there are a lot of people there that have horrible competitive mindsets. They're good players, but they're horrible competitive mindsets. And that often is a very good prediction of the type of people that they are too outside the game.
That's very interesting because, I mean, I guess a lot of dealing with bad situations in general is that you can't control the situation, but you can control how you react. And in this case, even if ranked sucks a lot, there's still like positive outcomes and positive outlooks that you can have from it.
Right.
And as long as you like understand and idolize those, then it shouldn't matter how shitty the game is.
Right. It's not just about, oh, I play D.Va because she's fun and Roadhog's boring. It's also like, if I'm playing D.Va to avoid the criticism, then that avoiding of the criticism is in of itself a skill I need to work through. You know, I need to learn to be able to avoid that. And so I know people are going to be angry. A lot of people out there are like, you're discouraging people from picking the strongest heroes in the game. Well, yeah, kind of actually, like, I don't know. Like, even I would rather you be hard stuck 4.2K or 4K or whatever and actually really develop life skills. You're going to be so, like, 2 years from now, you're going to be grateful you did that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now, right? I don't know. Just something to consider. Because, like...
That's definitely now that we had this talk, it's definitely a bigger goal for me than going pro at all.
Yeah,
I mean, not that I wouldn't enjoy it, but I'm not sure where my life would be if I went through that and came out.
Right. Well, that's the thing is I've gone pro. I've gone to the highest echelon of, and I didn't want to stay. 2 seasons. Yeah. Okay. Move on. It's not the dream, really.
Because I think I'd be dropping too much of my life to commit to something like that.
Right. I mean, that's exactly why I'm not pro anymore. I'm not willing to work in LA in a team house with a bunch of sweaty men at the expense of my family and my house and my other hobbies and things that I work. Like, I work really, really hard, but there's a line that I was not willing to cross, because that would put me in, I think that would turn me from a complete person into a caricature. And that's where a lot of Overwatch League players and staff are. And I wasn't willing to make that sacrifice. And so, and that's not just Overwatch. That's not just a criticism of the Overwatch League. That's really anything. I mean, I don't know how much you know about, like, the NFL, right? The coaches and the hours that they work, and a lot of other people, like successful CEOs and people like that. Like, success is sometimes tied to people who are obsessive and really incomplete human beings. That doesn't mean that the only way to be good at anything is to be obsessive about it. But I think we romanticize obsession and incompletion as people. And I think that's a really, really stupid thing to do. We can look at somebody who works 100 hours a day and be like, that's cool. But, all right, I'd prefer my own thing, And to be very clear, you're already ridiculously good at the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, percentage-wise, like, you're better than... You could take, 1,500, several, like 10,000 players in Overwatch, and you'd be better than all of them, right? You're in the 0.00 whatever 1%, right? So,
right.
I don't know. Just something to consider. I'm not discouraging people from pursuing pro, but I think people have to understand, like, the sacrifices sometimes it takes. And then I think it's all about finding if that's something that you're willing to do. And then if that's not something that you're willing to do, then if you're going to spend any significant time in Overwatch, then you better get something out of it besides just, I was 4.2K, because that's not going on the resume, right? And it's not even just going on the resume. It's not just about the resume, is it? It's not going, like, what are you gonna do? Pull up your highlights when you're 53 years old to show your grandkids? Like, maybe, but maybe not. Like, maybe it's about what will make you happier as a person, and I think developing yourself within the game is probably the best way to do that. Not just obsessing over what's going to make the next step or winning the next game or getting you're not, if you pick Roadhog and you went from GM3 to GM2 that one season because you decided to pick Roadhog, you're not going to remember that, but you will have wasted dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of hours along the way. I would not be able to do that.
The people I queue with and the friends I play with, they ask me, like, why don't you just swap Hog here? And I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, it's boring. It's not fun to play Hog into Hog. Yep. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Now, I find people that really like Hog. Okay, I respect it. Go play Hog. It doesn't matter if the hero's brained it or not. If you like playing Hog, if you want to get some out of Hog, if you've got goals and a set some improvement with Hog, go for it. But for crying out loud,
I want the 3,000 APM diva.
yeah, exactly. It's way more engaging. So yeah, no, I'm with you. This isn't just, and you can see, it's not just about, like, I don't want to play Roadhog. This is a lot deeper than that, right? So It's like, yeah. Anyway, so I will encourage you with this. Like, you're feeling like, oh yeah, right now. Yeah. 24 hours from now, you're gonna get queued in a game. You're gonna lock diva. Someone's gonna flame you for not picking Roadhog, and you're like, what am I doing? This is a process. What I'm doing is I'm hoping to light the spark for you to think about these things more in depth over the next decade.
Yeah.
Because I don't know everything. I'm just giving you my thoughts. So, All right. I don't know.
I honestly think you've had a pretty good read of me, and it was pretty good advice.
Well,
so.
respectfully,
Props.
you are a very, very unique individual in terms of all the details that I don't know about you. However, this one aspect of your personality is straight up generated. Thousands of players are like this, because you know what? It's a natural response of being a competitive person. Is everybody deals with the crossroads of this? Everybody.
Let's see.
Whether it's Overwatch related or not. I mean, I would say millions of people, athletes, engineers, students. Whenever you deal a crossroads of, I want to get good at something, what am I willing to sacrifice? What am I scared of criticism? Am I going to really go on and be great? Or am I really going to just ignore the criticism and do what I enjoy? Like, this is not, you're not unique with that particular aspect. You're unique in how it translates to you as a personality and everything else special about you, but that is not unique. I have dealt with that many times. I speak from experience, and I work with dozens and dozens of people who have dealt with the same thing. So I'm not saying that to make you feel belittled, but also everybody at some point in their life, unless they're just have no ambition whatsoever, deals with something very, very much like this.
Right.
So don't be disheartened. There's a lot of people out there that deal with this exact same issue, but never have the courage to like actually confront it. You ready to get into your gameplay?
Let's go.
All right. Big issue for you is going to be like a disconnect with your role. Seems to be the issue, where you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing. Would you like me to break that down as simply as I possibly can for you?
Yes.
Okay. Let me do this for you. I'm going to use my Microsoft Paint. It's not hard. It's just a little bit tricky. Your job is to control and contest space as a tank. And I know you're like, well, duh. Obviously, everybody knows that this is not revolutionary. Okay? But what is different is that you are the only person when it comes to tank role that's super, super hyper focused on controlling space as tank. And the difference is in Overwatch 1, a lot of your space control was as an off-tank player enabling your main tank to take space and protect him, usually a Reinhardt Winston, Orisa, whatever, or her, I guess, to take or control space. But now that is no longer the case. You are the only sole reason and resource for controlling space. So then the question comes is, if a tank like D.Va doesn't have a Winston to Matrix, how does a D.Va control space? You tell me.
Well, I guess there's a couple different playstyles that you could go for, but the big thing is controlling high grounds, I want to say.
Sure.
And two, looking for people out of place to get advantages.
Sure. D.Va is about controlling angles yourself, or like you were saying, things like high ground, controlling high ground so that the enemy team doesn't get that space, right?
Right.
So you're playing
and
more...
also,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to say the understanding of peeling versus playing aggressive.
Right.
Is important, because that's the biggest part of her kit, I want to say.
Exactly. And there's a lot of flexibility with it. Like, D.Va can either be aggressive herself to distract people to create space, or she can enable somebody else to take space, or she can disable the enemy team for taking space. The same thing goes with the hero like Zarya as well. You could double bubble yourself and run it down mid, right? You're creating a lot of space. Everybody's looking at you because you're a threat with two bubbles. Or you could bubble two off angles to help them control space, or deny the enemy team from contesting that space, right? You kind of see what I'm saying? So there's more flexibility with how you do it. And even a Roadhog. I just coached a Roadhog. In fact, I think the video went live yesterday. I don't remember when I posted it. Anyway, long story short, Roadhog isn't just thinking about necessarily, a good Roadhog isn't just necessarily thinking about my angles, my space, I get hooks and kills, but oftentimes a good Roadhog will also consider who in the enemy team can I control and prevent from going aggressive and create space by doing that. Now, really in Overwatch 2, everybody thinks about space. Supports think about space, controlling, creating space. DPS have a huge role in controlling and creating space. But there's not a whole big difference outside the fact that whenever you're playing a tank, especially an off-tank, you're not thinking about enabling another tank. You're thinking about either enabling yourself, enabling your teammates, or disabling the enemy team. There's one variable completely removed from the equation. In other words, with D.Va, it was like, oh, do I peel backline? Do I enable my Winston? Do I prevent that Hanzo from taking high ground? Well, one of those factors is gone. One of those factors is entirely gone. So let's look at our gameplay here. And let's theorize.
That makes concepts like trading backlines just less prevalent and stuff like
Well, I think it just depends. I think you just look at the situation and like, okay, let's do it right now. Okay. I'm just praying that we don't get the replay viewer bug where the audio gets really gross. Okay. So like right now, you tell me, look at your backline. How much time do you think you would be spending peeling a backline like this?
Not very much.
Not very much. Okay. So who in your team might need help controlling space, if anybody?
Hanzo and
I think it's fine.
Hanzo.
Yeah, Hanzo and Hanzo, yeah. Okay, now look at the enemy team. Is that a very diveable and killable backline in the enemy team?
Sort of.
Sort of, right, sort of. So if you see an opportunity to pressure backline and create space, you can do it. Is there anybody in the enemy team that you can kind of control or contest to prevent from going hyper-aggressive?
Genji, Bap?
Genji, maybe Bap, yeah. Maybe a little bit of Cassidy if he tries to take angles or flanks. So this one is a really dynamic one, right? This one is, I guess there's people to peel, there's people to dive, there's people to control and contest. You could play a little bit down the middle. This one is perfect because this one is not black and white at all, is it?
No.
So let's just play this by ear. Now, I will say there's a couple of things with D.Va specifically that are very, very important. Positioning in a position to where you can either deny the enemy off angles or set up your own off angles is extremely important. So that's why things like high grounds are really, really important, okay? The other thing that we're going to be looking at as well is making sure that you're not wasting your resource, your matrix, your HP, and so on, before space creation or space taking happens. So that out of the way, let's see what happens.
Well, I think it is black and the white in the sense that if I don't really need to peel, then I am playing aggressive and to deny angles more. And at least that's one of the three things of D.Va out of the way.
Sure. Like right now, who on the enemy team needs controlling?
Well, their Genji's out, but their Bap's jumping right now.
Right, so Bap is going extremely aggressively. But I have a question for you. What's happening to your right?
Someone dies. One of our team dies.
Right. Why? Do you know?
Well, no, I'm not sure where they died, but if they died main, then
I don't know either. And see, that's kind of a question for you. Is if you don't know, why don't you know? Because you're saying, okay, Bap is going more aggressive here, but do we know that? Where's that Cassidy right now? Has he rolled into the middle of the enemy your team? I don't know.
Probably bottom.
Probably not, but probably bottom. So I look at the enemy team right now. Is there anybody in the enemy team that's going hyper aggressive that you should have controlled right now?
Pre maybe.
I wouldn't even say that. You could punish this soon, but this is tough, right? So what's your priority right now?
Bap.
Right. Bap is the most aggressive, most isolated target. So what's going to create more space? You shooting here? Okay. Or you could beating the crap out of this guy. Right. Right. So beat the crap out of this guy. A little bit of a missed opportunity. You see what I'm saying?
100%. If I traded that, then we have a better chance.
Now, I don't even know if you can trade, but you could have forced shift, you could have forced lamp, and you would have easily survived. And remember, what would have been the enemy team's response at this point in time?
Probably back.
Right.
Or at least attempt to peel.
Right. Or some form of distraction, which at the same time would have allowed your team to back up safely. So right now, I know what you're doing. You're peeling, which is fine. But I think the more direct or indirect and more valuable form of peeling would have been a little bit more pressure on the more isolated target.
Right.
You couldn't stop your Hanzo from dying. He's an idiot. But something to consider. Now, right now, is this in line with your hero's strengths?
No.
No. What's the problem here?
I'm burning D and looking at 4 people.
Right. At a distance that just sucks. Where is your cover here?
I guess spoiler, I try to find it, but it is not, it's not covered.
But here's the question, what caused you to go here?
Let
me ask you a question. Is this Genji playing aggressively?
He would have been.
Is this an aggressive position for Genji? Look at the positioning of your team, and then tell me whether this positioning is aggressive or not.
Well, I feel like if he looped all the way around, he'd have
okay, we'll stop you there. Has he looped all the way around?
No.
What happens if he loops all the way around?
He gets an in on our backline.
Right. And then what do you do as he's looping all the way around? Now you're talking about, I assume, this here?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens
I feel like if he went up here, he'd have a
okay, and then what
easy
would
poke on the turret and then possibly a kill on Torb or other DPS.
So then what would you do if you got to this position?
Deny it
Right.
later.
And what would the risk of doing that be compared to what you're doing here?
Smaller.
Right, a lot smaller, and he would be a lot more punishable at the same time because he's harder to support.
Right, because your character can peek once.
What I'm saying is your diagnosis of what's being aggressive here and what's punishable / what needs to be punished to protect your team is wrong. It's wrong.
I need to poke out Sig.
This Genji is not punishable. In fact, I would go so far to say your best punishing here is probably just to hold this corner here and shoot the Sigma shield, or don't do anything at all. I know it feels weird shooting a Sigma, but again, compare Sigma's aggression to the rest of his team. Look at his BAP, look at the Kiriko, look at the Cassidy, even look at the Genji to an extent. Who's more aggressive? Significantly more aggressive right now.
Sig, good shield.
Right. Sigma's turned the shield. Sigma's turned the corner. Cassidy can't do anything. Kiriko can't do anything. BAP doesn't do anything. Genji's just started doing something, and you have a full 1, 2, 3, 4 people and a turret shooting at Sigma. Sigma's the most punishable thing right now. Or do nothing, set up, and get ready to punish anything that's going aggressive. But instead, you're on a Genji that's not aggressive. You're allowing all these people to have something to shoot, right? When they've not even earned it. You see that? They've not even committed. They're just sitting back here and poking you out.
I see.
And that's how you get demacked. Do you see how they took 0 risks to demack you? You just handed them that kill?
Yeah.
None of them had gone aggressive outside of maybe Sigma. And they were able to bait you in and then punish you. Remember, whether you're peeling or whether you're going aggressive, your whole mindset with D.Va is, I'm doing so off of enemies that are going aggressive. Like, that's why you go for the BAP, because BAP was playing so aggressive and so isolated that he needed to be punished, right? And the same thing there. You look at a D.Va and you're like, or looking at the Genji, you're like, oh, that Genji's playing aggressive. Genji's not playing aggressive. So then you get baited into playing aggressive and then you end up dying for it. So a lot of your success on D.Va and Zarya and even Sigma is going to be your diagnosis off of who is going aggressive and then punishing that person. And if you misdiagnose, you die. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you if you misdiagnose, that person, somebody else is allowed to go aggressive and kills your team. Let's keep looking here. Now I know a lot of what I'm talking about is kind of like a little bit complicated, but we'll keep asking that question right now. Like right now, what's the potential problem out of peeking this here? Why would you not, let's put it this way, why would you not just turn the corner like a Plat D.Va would and just start mowing down this Roadhog?
Nothing, he deserves to die.
Right, okay, besides the fact that he deserves to die. Right. But I guess the question is, well, you know what the question is going to be. Is this Roadhog playing aggressively right here?
Right, and if he's walking up to corner, I think he is.
Right, if he turns the corner to here, then he's punishable because your team can assist you and his team cannot. But is this Roadhog playing aggressively in this current room right now? Not really, right? So then actually, if you were to push in here, who on the enemy team would have LOS advantage? Right, their Lucy would be able to assist, their Cassie would be able to assist, even the Reaper would eventually be able to assist, and who would be able to assist you and your team?
Not very much.
Not very many. Right, so you just need to assess who in the enemy team is playing aggressively right now, and then make a decision right now. Now, obviously, you guys are on attack, so it's a little bit more complicated. But that might be a situation where you are like, I'm then not going to peek this until I get more help, right? Which it looks like is what you're going to do. Wait. Now, what do we pray and hope to find behind us?
A team.
A team. Right. And kind of. So how do we expect this engagement to go if we ignore ultimates, if we ignore matchups, and just look at it from the raw Overwatch 2 tank versus tank mindset? I don't care if you're on Sigma, Zarya, D.Va, Reinhardt here. How do we expect this theoretically to go?
I don't understand the question.
In other words, is this are you guys going to get steamrolled here, or do you think this might go okay? Ignore the ultimates.
Not necessarily. It feels like a neutral fight.
Yeah, it feels okay.
If anything,
it feels okay. I mean, they've got a whole hog, which is obviously a big problem here.
No, I was gonna say like they have an easier time getting out, but it's not necessarily true. We both have outs.
But who? Okay, so if they get out, then is that still a win for you guys in terms of getting?
Yeah,
space?
we get this space, high ground for next.
So I don't know. Maybe this goes poorly because whole hog, but there's a chance here. There's a chance here that this goes well. And look at that. even despite that ultimate, this is going well. Nice Matrix, and your fight is won. Now, the funny thing here is, notice that we didn't talk about D.Va versus Roadhog matchup, or you taking an off angle, or you using your Matrix, or micro missiles, or mechanics, or anything. We just talked about, are you actually contesting aggressive space with your team? And that was really it. And you did a better job than the Roadhog did, because the problem with the Roadhog's positioning is where he was at, really only 4 members of his team could help, whereas you had 5. And just a slight micro like that, or macro, I guess, like that, was enough to give you guys an advantage. Now, right now, who on the enemy team is playing aggressive?
Orisa.
Is there anybody else in the enemy team that's playing more aggressive, or might be playing more aggressive soon?
No. Well, I can't. That's Reaper, so maybe.
Do you see how hard it is for you to tell right now? So how can you make that decision easier?
High ground.
Right. That's why we go to high ground. Well, I don't know what button I just pushed. Okay. That's why we go to high ground, because as a D.Va player, you need to make that assessment accurately and quickly. And you cannot make that assessment with where you're at right now, can you? It's very hard to see. So you go to high ground. Now what do you see? Or what do you not see?
You don't see anyone on flank.
No flank. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. There's nobody here or here. There's nobody here. Okay. So then who's the most aggressive person then? The Orisa, right?
Orisa.
So then if you were to look for an engage, okay, do we really want to deal with the Orisa? Maybe, maybe not. But at the very least, it gives you the information that you need. You see?
Got it. Yeah.
Uh-oh. What do you see?
Someone else playing aggressive. It's create high ground.
So who's playing more aggressively right now? Orisa or
Cassie? About to be
Reaper. Yeah, and about to be Reaper, right? And now, so that affects how you play. So if we were to take an engagement here, which it looks like we might, Torp's a little late. Just keep that in mind. We hope that you don't.
Then
right.
Reaper might walk into us.
We hope we don't walk in this person. We hope that we either deal with this person, or we hope that we deal with this person, and we create space that way. So let's see.
Is there any reason we don't want to just brute force the recent matchup?
Well,
because from what I know, you just hard DM the shift, and then you right click the spear.
But Orisa's still creating space if you hard focus the Orisa.
I see.
You see? Because if everybody on your team is focused on the Orisa, how much freedom does that Reaper have? How much freedom does that Cassidy have?
A lot.
A lot of.
I see.
Right. The attention you put is creating space in of itself. If she's a big fat target, so she's fun to shoot, but that's exactly what she wants you to do when she has her cooldowns. Because meanwhile, the rest of her team is doing whatever she wants. Now, the funny thing here is that your DPS did your job for you. Watch. You see?
Yeah.
Who was the better tank at this point in time? You or your Cassidy? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So your Cassidy took away the Cassidy's high ground. Now here's the funny thing. Is high ground useless now for you?
No.
So there is nobody in the enemy team that's taking an aggressive position, so why go high ground? What can you do from this position?
Other than scouting, I guess it's kind of late.
Yeah, it's a little late.
I think I should just be at corner, or if I go high ground over the bridge and I can DM down.
You could. You could also look for staging onto a dive on the backline, which will create a lot of space, will it not? Now, is that better than DMing the Reaper? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think I'd get the support, or even just get the kill, or even just be on time.
Well, no, wait a second. Would you need to get the kill to create space by pressuring the Cassidy?
No, but it would just have to be well timed.
So you would go on Cassidy, you would force Lucio and Kiriko probably just peel back, which means that these guys would get no support. Is that more valuable than deeming the Reaper? Maybe, maybe not, but it would need to be well timed. So let's actually just see what happens. Let's see what happens. So Cassidy's gone. You missed him dropping. Now, right now, why are you focusing on the Reaper?
Because he's a threat.
Yeah, look at how aggressive he's playing in comparison to his team. Like, if you do nothing on ranked but scout gaps and consistency with the enemy team's aggression. In other words, this Reaper is here, but look at how defensively the Kiriko and Cassidy are playing. You see that? That's a problem. Right. That's a problem. Because even this Orisa, by the way,
they're going aggressive, they should die.
Right. These guys are not going aggressive at the same time. The problem with D.Va is when you look at something like this and you also have the Cassidy and the high ground at the same time. What do you do then? You see what I'm saying? That's hard. That's good team play. But that doesn't happen very often in ranked, doesn't it? You have splits where one person or two people go more aggressive than the rest of their team, and then all you have to do is pick them off one by one. So right now, it's not even a question of what's the most important thing to do. You focus on the Reaper. Why? Because look at his aggression and compared to the rest of his team. Massive gap. Massive gap. So then just punish the most aggressive thing, and then number one, either he dies, or number two, you're going to force Fortify, you're going to force Wraith, and then what did that cost you? Probably not much, right? Because the rest of the Indian team was just AFK. So there's Wraith. There's Spen. Did she have Fortify? Yeah, she's Fortified. They've Suzur'd. And what did it cost your team? A couple of ults, yes. So now what do you do? Now what do you do?
Hard int.
You hard int. And who do you hard int on? Well, the Reaper.
The people stuck in the corner.
The people that are still more aggressive. And that's going to cost 2 support ults. Maybe? No. Why Orisa? We talked about not shooting Orisa, right? Why?
I felt that she was out of position.
I feel... What does out of position mean?
In front of the corner.
Right. Compared to the rest of her team's aggression to the Orisa's aggression, right? It's kind of funny. This Orisa's doing the exact same thing that you were doing when you were up here. You see? You were out of position. Because in relation to your team, your aggression did not match. That's what out of position means, right? We could talk about corner positioning and high ground, yeah. But usually out of position just means there is a gap between your aggression and your team's aggression. And you can see that here. And that's why this Orisa gets choked, right?
Pain, better hero.
Well, yes and no. If I turn around, what am I going to see? Any
we
guesses?
probably lost someone.
Well, let's
a while ago.
So compare your Torb's aggression.
Out of ebb and flow. I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And even though they're missing somebody as well, there's at least a half a man gap with your Torb here. And remember, this is where we have to specifically think about your hero's strengths and weaknesses, right?
Which is not brute force walking into Orisa.
Right. So if you're just going to end up shooting a tank, this is not what you... If you were to do this exact same thing, but to go on backline, maybe dive here, pressure them, use your matrix, use cover, you would take less damage, you put more pressure out, have a higher chance of a kill, and more likely result in this Orisa dying rather than just... If you just shoot an Orisa and if they put all of her healing into her, she will not die. And
or honestly, even if I shot Orisa but was high ground, it'd probably be a lot better.
Right, because then if you don't get the kill, you can always restabilize without dying for it. So let's say you make a mistake, you don't die for it up top here. Whereas here, it's all or nothing. So this is where we talk about the generalities of tank, right? Being out of position, punishing aggression, right?
Being in sync with your team.
Right,
yeah.
but then there's the individual tank strengths and weaknesses. Whereas Zarya would be very comfortable punishing an Orisa. A D.Va is not. I hate playing Orisa into Zarya. I play a lot of Orisa. I hate playing into Zarya. But into a D.Va, I'm okay with that.
It's a lot of constant pressure.
Yeah.
It doesn't really lay off.
Yeah. Now, there's a real big problem here. Who in the enemy team is playing most aggressively right now?
I don't think it's me.
Well, on the enemy team.
Oh, the enemy team. No one? No one yet. Oh. Lucia.
And
I didn't know about that, but I do remember hearing it called later.
Yeah. This is why we talk about things like high ground and just general awareness. So important.
And like looking back at your team and
right. So important. You need to keep tabs on as many members of the enemy team as possible. What you can't see needs to be a big concern, because the problem is it's like, okay, you don't see anybody. Are they here? Right? Are they here? You don't know. Because if you do your homework and figure out the answer to that question, that person is dead. You know what I'm saying? This is over.
Yeah.
This is a fight-winning recognition. Is what I would go as far to say. If you recognize this, you win the fight automatically. If you don't, you lose it automatically. Your Widow's dead. The Lucio's alive. And you've lost a team fight.
Yeah.
And that's not a cooldown mismanagement issue.
It's an awareness thing.
It's an awareness issue. Because enemy members were allowed to go aggressive that should not have been. Now, they did it well. They timed it, that Cassidy timed it really, really well. That's a hard, I'm not saying that you're an idiot. That is a difficult thing. However,
it was still a thing that happened that I could have prevented by turning around for a second.
Right now, who in the member of the enemy team can you see? You can see everybody, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
So now, what's your fight plan? Next 10 seconds.
Off high ground. Go point.
Right. So maybe drop here, get some healing, then fly up, drop Cassidy off, tuck in.
Actually, wouldn't have to go back to point. I could stay up here for a sec.
Yeah. And then you could either stage backline or punish the Reaper later. We'll see what happens.
No, you dropped again.
To be honest with you, I don't know. GG's. That was tough. You know what I'm saying? They just blew it all and just ran you over. Yeah, I don't think you had an opportunity really to worry about that one. So we don't worry about that one. Okay.
Because I think in times like that, other than anchoring point, there's nothing I can do.
No.
And I've been getting like, I want to say coaching, but honestly, it's just a lot of micro from another friend of mine who used to play tank a lot. And I've seen him like anchor cart on D.Va more than anything. Just like sit there, play Ring Around the Rosie with a tank or a DPS, and just waste time. Or just, be on cart to push space, and when someone contests you, just exist until you can push it again.
Let's ask you a question really fast.
Weird.
Yeah, it is strange. Who's the most aggressive member, most punishable member, most important focus for you right now on your screen?
In replay viewer, Reaper. But in general, like aggressiveness, it's Orisa.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at Cassidy as well.
Because Cassidy has pretty much the jump on her Widow.
Yeah.
Orisa is like balls in her backline.
Yeah.
And then Reaper has ults. So
yeah, it's rough, isn't it? And this is like a good example of like, as a D.Va, you have to just try and pick and choose and make a split-second decision as best as you possibly can. And
do that enough to understand which one's the better one.
Right. But there is no obvious solution now. And this is I would describe this as really good team play from them, right? Like excellent timed aggression. So there is no good solution for you. However, it's not always going to be like this. There's going to be missed timings. And if you can scout this better, I think you'll have an easier time. Now, let's watch one team fight with Zarya and see if we can apply this very same logic. They have a lever. Okay, we're back. Why are you bubbling your Sojourn?
She's in.
Right. You see how this ties into the aggression thing that we were talking about?
Right? Yeah, so you're nibbling your DPS aggression.
Right. So you're not only need to be aware of the enemy aggression, you need to be aware of what your team is doing aggressively as well, so that you can help them do it better. And guess what? That applies to D.Va too. You would matrix this, would you not?
Yeah.
If you were not aware of this, then you would not matrix this, and she would die, and you'd lose the team fight. If you do matrix this or bubble this, she gets a kill, you win the team fight. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, or at the very least gets out.
Right, and even this bubble there is more of like I'm protecting, I'm enabling that aggression, rather than just using the bubble for no purpose. Right now, which enemy is the most aggressive? Do you know?
Sig, but I'm worried that the Kree might be, so I think I look back.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky, isn't it? And this is why heroes with low mobility often have a harder time, because it's harder to get that information about what's most aggressive. Now, right now, who do you think needs the bubble? Well, you are, because you're going to be getting out. Good. Who's most aggressive right now?
Sig. Or no one, to be honest.
Yeah, Sig, I think nobody. I'm not sure. Awareness is key.
No one yet.
No one yet? Uh-oh. Who's most aggressive in your team right now?
Torb.
I mean, Torb's dead.
Is he dead? That's a respawn timer? Okay.
Yeah.
Lucio,
right. You see what I'm talking about here? You just go down the list.
Yeah.
Nice. Sorry, OTP kicking in here.
Oh no. I would just skip now.
You sure? You sure? This might be fun.
No, wait. It had to have been last second of the Matrix shot. I was like, wait, that stays up that long?
Yeah. It was a reasonable mistake. I would probably make the same mistake. What are you thinking right now, Zarya? What should you be punishing or pushing?
I should be walking on top left.
Why?
But I think I drop. Because, well, I don't want to say it's a flank because it really isn't. It's an off flank. They can just drop and be okay. But if they have high ground late in the fight and we're cart, we're gonna suck.
If we tie it back into aggression, who's the most aggressive in the enemy team right now, or has the potential for the most aggression with their positioning?
High ground. So those two.
Right. So those guys deserve to get punished. So if you drop on here, you're misdiagnosing what's most aggressive, right?
Correct.
And if you walk on these guys right here, what happens? Either they die, or worst case scenario, what happens?
Back to high ground.
Right. You force them out of those aggressive positions, and then you get your team gets their aggressive position. Right. Their Sigma on cart cannot help them control that high ground very easily, right? That's the problem with pushing cart. You're not able to take and hold aggressive positions. But you see here, you have now left it up to chance about whether your team will win this duel and win this aggressive position, when that's really, really not proper at all. Like Sigma is not a factor here. Sigma is not in an aggressive position, so you really just don't care about him. You know, if Sigma was pushing cart all the way up to here and his team was back here, then who's the most aggressive, right? Sigma on cart, shockingly. But this is a bad read of who is more aggressive, and that's gonna cost you.
Well,
go ahead.
Other than the high ground being of aggression, I felt like cart there was of value because as soon as cart goes under bridge, then as soon as it leaves under bridge, we lose advantage.
Sure. So then my question for you is, okay, you clear top, they push cart to here. What then do you put priority on from this position here?
Cart.
You just shoot cart, but you do it from here, right? You don't give up all the position in the world to do the exact same job that you could have done from a better position in the first place, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because then if the Sigma wants to keep pushing cart while you're clearing high ground, and these guys just run back to here, right? And Sigma's now over here. You see what I'm saying?
Alone. We just be a late fight, you know?
Right. We talked about that possibility. And you would either force that Sigma to back off and stop pushing cart, or the Sigma continues to push cart like a brain-dead idiot and dies for it 10 seconds later.
Right.
But the problem here is you're like, Sigma, but your team's like, we're busy right now. We're clearing Sojourn. And so then the pressure on the Sigma that should have already happened, like he should have, but you want to know why he's not dead? It's because your team was doing the homework while you were just brain dead pushing Sigma. It's the same kind of energy as like the Reinhardt's like running in the middle of the enemy team, swinging his hammer and be like, why can't you guys help me win this fight? And there's a Winston diving his backline at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's like no wonder you're not getting healing. You know, you're not paying attention to how your team is handling aggression elsewhere, right? Okay. So aggression is the key with tanking. Aggression. How your character controls aggression, how your character utilizes aggression yourself, and how you diagnose and are aware of enemy aggression and what you need to do. So what are you seeing on your tank play that needs to be improved specifically? What is it? We've gone over some very generalities, some big pictures, but like what are some specific actionable steps that you could be doing on at least with Zarya and D.Va?
I guess just asking myself the question, who is most aggressive on my team, who's most aggressive on their team, and what needs to happen because of it.
Trust your ability to make the proper read and the proper decision, but give yourself enough information to make that decision. Do you see what I'm saying? And then when you give yourself enough information to make that decision, you will more often than not make the right decision.
I guess it's similar to Mercy in a way. Not that I've played Mercy.
Yes, it is.
But either I remember coaching content on it, or I remember one of my teammates being coached on it.
Yeah.
And it was just about enabling whichever DPS was more aggressive.
Right.
Or tank, but more or less DPS.
Right, exactly. And then obviously if the enemy team goes hyper aggressive on one specific target, then you need to help that target. Right. It's like the opposite.
If it's Ana, for example.
Exactly. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, not really, no.
Okay. Let me know if you do. My DMs are always open. Do you know the replay code rule?
No.
Okay, so shoot me a replay code at any time, and it could be next week, next month, whenever. with a couple of timestamps of like I wasn't sure what to do here, like what was my role here, what should I have done better here, with like at least 3 or 4 different team fights, and I will shoot you my written thoughts over within a couple of days. Sound good?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Keep in touch, and remember what we talked about before. The actual gameplay review is probably at least 13 times as important as the actual gameplay itself.
Is understanding what you get out of the time you're putting into this game.
Yep.
And understanding, I guess, why you're doing what you're doing.
Yep. You are so much more than a Overwatch player.
For real. Oh my god.
You are so much more. You're so much more, and you're at the age now, like to where you're going to start developing and expanding yourself as a person as well. So that's why old people don't care about Overwatch getting to GM, because it's not that they can't, it's just that they don't. There's too many other things that they care about at the same time, and that's
Right.
that is a good thing to happen. That is not a bad thing to have happen. Okay.
Life just has meaning from where we put it.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just kind of we all die at the end of the day.
Right. We are dynamic people. That's what we should aim to be. Keep in touch, mate. All right. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. I was Crash, the off tank. I guess just the tank extraordinaire, because there was a little bit of wind supply in there too. All right. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Nodman. Good to see everybody. Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. Would you mind scrolling up a little bit and answering your question? I honestly, Dolas, I can't at the moment. I'm trying it. We got a couple of coaching sessions in a row. Maybe a little bit though. You do want to get back to GM? How many times do you think you can pee a day if I really put my mind to it? I think at least 8 times. At least 8. At least. I think you could do it. I believe. Just don't like blow out your kidneys. Hey, what's going on?
Yo.
How you doing?
Doing good. You?
Doing all right. Long time no chat. How you been?
I've been chilling. I mean, I haven't been playing a lot of Overwatch because of work stuff, but I've been chilling.
Yeah. How's work stuff going?
It's going good.
Good. All right. So, how's the monkey going?
It's been rough, but
Really?
I decided to just play what's his name? Doom.
So you've expanded your horizons. Okay, sick. Doom is actually pretty fun. What do you think of the nerfs? Is he trashed them? Is he still playable? What do you think?
He's still, any character is playable at the nerf, honestly.
True. Fair enough. All right. So looking through your form here, is there anything here in the form that you think has significantly changed since our last session here? Is it mostly pretty much the same?
Pretty much the same. If not, I'll say a lot better.
Okay. All right. Let's shoot me the replay code when you get a chance. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, sure, I got you. It's a Midtown game.
All right.
I was chilling on Doom. It was kind of rough in the beginning, though. Not gonna lie.
Okay, we'll take a look. We've been all over the place. Live coaching on New Queen Street. Live coaching on Eichenwald. I think last review we did was Route 66, I think. Now we're on Doom. So Midtown, nice. So what appeals to you about Doomfist? Have you? Because I know you played a lot of Monkey previously, and now Doomfist. How much of that was meta driven / just something you want to try and do hero? And then how's your experience been playing the hero?
I was just tired of playing Monkey, just suffering. So I was like, let me just try Doom out because he's kind of like he's really good right now. And plus, I used to be like a Doom player.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. What was your experience with Doom, and was it Overwatch 1, I assume, yeah?
Yeah. Overwatch 1 Doom was pretty rough playing that hero, but it was fun when you were able to play the hero.
Yeah. What do you think about his Overwatch 2 rework? I guess it's old news, but what do you think about it?
I think it makes sense because, I think Doom would have been kind of like broken if he was still a DPS into Overwatch 2. I think he would be just broken, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But reworking as a tank was a smart decision.
Do you still feel like he still feels relatively fun, or do you think he's lost a lot of his identity, or what exactly?
I think he feels even more fun since he's like has more impact onto the game as a tank now, and with how his abilities work against the enemies and stuff. Yeah. I think he's still fun.
Fair enough. How have you been playing him? Like, what's your general like play style? I guess like what things do you, when you're picking Doom? I guess regardless of enemy comp, what are you really looking to accomplish?
to kill their DPS most likely.
Okay.
Either Sojourn or Soldier, whatever one. I saw you like your video with Chips though. So I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, we
oh,
had a
I'm
good time.
gonna try that out.
Yeah, yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time. How's that going for you? I guess the assassination playstyle.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, especially against Orisa and what's his name, Hog.
Yeah,
It's hard,
yeah,
really, really
yeah.
hard.
Why versus those two specific tanks?
Because a lot of times Hogs, when they see Doom, they usually say to themselves, "All right, I'm gonna just play back with my team until Doom goes in."
Yeah,
So I just try to like bait out his hook.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tricky because it's like Hog just feels like ruins everything about your day, pretty much. Um, what about if you've ever played into any games where it feels like there's nothing on the enemy team that you can really assassinate specifically? Like let's say they're playing like Torb Tracer, like a Kiriko Lucio. What are you aiming for? Have you played any games like that, or is it mostly assassinatable targets?
I played one game like that, and it was the worst thing in the world. But I remember your video with you did with Chipsa, and he said usually if you get into situations like that, just farm punch, super punch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying that. It been working, just that my timing has been off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard with Doomfist because with Winston it's very like you are all the way in, you got your bubble, or you're all the way out. With Doom it feels like your cooldowns are so fast. It's like
Exactly.
downtime. It's good because it kind of keeps you engaged, but at the same time it's also like when do I really want to hard engage, when do I not? So we'll go over that a little bit I think as well. Okay, so any questions that you've had about Doom specifically or playstyle? Because I'm looking through form here, and I think a lot of it is just mostly like specifically Doom related stuff that you've been struggling with. So, what are you looking to get out of the review in terms of that specifically?
Basically, a better idea of how to like play Doom or
Okay.
play a better understanding of how to like engage on Doom.
Sure.
So that way I can like use it in scrims and stuff.
Okay. You still scrimming with your team? How's that
I
going?
just haven't been able to like play a tournament match with them because work related stuff.
Okay. Okay. How's your training schedule, by the way, the work related stuff? I mean, obviously that holds priority, but has it suffered any?
A little bit, just a little bit. I mean, I remember last week, I wasn't playing the game at all,
Hmm.
like for the 5 days in a row. And
That
then
sucks.
yesterday, I started playing, and I just hit you up for a review,
Sure.
check you back into everything.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I mean, it always sucks when stuff like that happens, but that's partly real life. And I was just talking about this with like the 18-year-old earlier. It's like you're gonna hit an age where there's other responsibilities, and like sometimes it's gonna be hard to like play and train as much as you'd like. So hopefully, at the very least, we can make when you can train as efficient as useful as we possibly can, because that's tough. That stuff happens. So okay.
Yeah,
Anything specifically about Doomfist before we actually get into it? Because if not, we can hop right in.
I actually want to hop into it right now.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So let's get rolling here. Okay, so I think the big thing with Doom is always like just seamlessly transitioning from what am I actually trying to do with this engage? Am I trying to farm a punch? Am I trying to like distract the enemy team, create some space, just disrupt? I think the best way of looking at a disruption when we talk about like the Chipsa video, right? Assassination is obvious. You want to kill something. Disruption is more of like I'm going to threaten damage, and then basically go made you look. Same thing with Winston. Winston was the same thing. Like you play a Winston, and for example, in the hardcore meta composition, which was Reaper, Sojourn, Kiriko, Lucio, you were just generally AOE damage disruption with your bubble. But how many times was Fearless on the Winston one-shotting or assassinating somebody? I mean, almost never, right? Maybe if maybe if somebody Sojourn made a big mistake with a shift, but it was just general disruption, and then looking for those once those cooldowns are used, once things kind of devolve, once that advantage or opportunity is given, then you go hard. So for you, it's going to be a lot of the same. Like I look at the enemy comp, and I'm like, oh, you could assassinate Soldier, you can assassinate Mercy. But Mercy's tough, right? Maybe maybe Soldier's inaccessible. Maybe the Kiriko still has her teleport. Maybe that Bastion still has his turret form. Maybe that Bastion is full HP. In which case, yes, there are targets in the enemy team that you can assassinate, but also it might be hard to assassinate them immediately. You can't just snap your fingers, roll out one shot, and then get out, right? So it's going to be about can I distract the enemy team to buy space for my team without dying? Can I take a flank set up for better positions to assassinate but I can't assassinate right now because they're too far away. But I'm going to slowly, step by step, take space into where I can actually assassinate the enemy team. Can I pretend like I'm going to go in aggressive, like you were saying, bait hooks and things like that, and then go from there? Is this mostly a Doom matchup here? Oh, he goes Hog. Okay, so this is going to be great, because I want to talk about the Hog matchup as well, because I think that is very important as well, because with the Hog, I think... Oh, crud, we got the stupid bug. Okay, so I'm going to have to mute the audio. I don't know why the replay reviewer does this, but since the last update, the replay viewer is buggy. Anyway, with the Hog, the question is okay, if he's sitting inside of his backline, like, what are my options, you know? And we'll talk about that one as well. Okay, so let's get started. So we're punching in, there's spawn holding, and this is like a great example. There's something going on just to your right. So you see this right here, okay? So you've aggressively gone in on their Doom, right? Look at their Bastion, you see? Full turret form. So you have a really important question right now. Is this Bastion killable right now, or is this something that you're just going to wait out and then continue to go from there?
He's possibly killable because somebody's shooting him.
Right, so possibly killable. So then at that point in time, maybe we go in. You punched out of that, unfortunate. Nice kill. Good shots. Now, this is a really important question. You're going in hard in the soldier, right? Obviously. If you don't get this kill and the soldier runs away, where are you going to go?
Back on a Bastion, most likely.
But where specifically on the map would you go to reset?
Around the staircase, because my team is behind the staircase. So at least I get healed if I don't get a kill. Right.
Because this is like a good example of disruption, right? Are you getting the kill on soldier right now? No, right? No. It's not happening. But at the same time, do you see what's happening over here? Look at Bastion. Look at Mercy. Look at Kiriko. Look at your team. Your team is like, oh, I guess they're just not looking at me at all, right? And they just walk forward. That's creating space through disruption. You kind of see what I'm saying? You're not actually getting a kill, but you're going, hey, look at me, I'm going to get you up to kill your soldier, better watch out, right? And so the enemy team overcompensates. And so then all you need to do is, going back to the question I just asked, you need to know, I'm in, but if I don't get the kill, where am I going to get out? Because if you don't have the answer for that, let's say you just go in for the kill on the soldier and you die for it, okay, you created space, but at what cost, right? It's too expensive. So let's see what happens. You go in, you get Suzured, or excuse me, naded. But see, this is where I think, okay, you just need to be really careful about this. Let's put it this way. So like right here, you punch in, and again, you're creating space, kind of, sort of, right now. But I ask you, where's your team positioned right now?
Right behind you.
You see? So, what's the potential problem about what's happening right now?
Their Doom is coming back, so he might go on to somebody. So I should look to like punish the Doom, possibly.
You can. What can is your Ashe getting anything out of what you're doing right now necessarily? Look at their enemy team's
No, not at all.
Right. So right now, especially, let's say you just charge this punch right now. Okay. What do you do now? Do you need to go in hard again, or do you wait?
I'll wait a little bit because my cooldown is not up.
Right. But not even just that. Look at how much space you've created. Look at Team Red, right? Look at Team Blue. You need to wait and let your Ashe walk forward just a little bit, for your Ana to walk forward just a little bit, for your Kiriko, look what she's doing, right? For your Kiriko to walk forward a little bit before you go in again. Because the problem with Doomfist is, even more so than Winston, you can go in so deep, so far by yourself. And that's fine. That creates space. But the problem is if you go in so far, so fast, and your team is just starting to walk out of the choke, and then you die off in La La Land, your team doesn't get jack out of that. You see what I'm saying? So you've done a good job up to this point. But be very cautious about just go, because you need to give your team time to actually take the space that you've created. And then when your Kiriko gets up here, when your Ashe gets up to, like, even just here, right? Like, let's say your Ashe gets to here to where she can shoot people. Your Ana walks forward to here. Now you can go in aggressive, because if you go in aggressive and your Ashe is right here, what's your Ashe doing from this position right here?
Just poking something.
She's blowing heads off, right? But right now, she's not. And even she's starting to. But even here, right? Look at this from your Ash's POV. Imagine if you were like going like in balls to the wall right now. If I was Ash here, I'd be ticked off. You know what I'm saying? You could, where I'd be like, yo, Doom, just wait. Like, thanks for creating space, but just wait a second. So let's hope that right now we started to go in aggressively. Oh, we miss it. That sucks. Because now you see it. This is juice to the max. So you mess up your. So let's look at this from a micro perspective. So big picture timing wise, not bad. However, micro wise, look at the bottom right of your screen. What do you see?
See no cooldown.
Yeah. So what would have been the best way to engage here?
Wait for the cooldown.
How long?
Like 2 or 3 seconds at least.
Yeah, exactly. Like legit 2 or 3 seconds. Because you don't even need to wait for them to be fully back. Just that they're almost there, right? So like, ready, set, go. That would have been a better time here. That being said, we might get some follow-up off of this engage. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's as simple as this for me. It's as simple as this. Is as good as this has been. Okay, that's a little bit fortunate. It just gets. What actually hit your team here?
No clue.
Oh,
the soldier right click.
At the same time. Yes, they get double helixed and slammed at the same time. It might have been damage boosted actually as well. That's actually crazy because that's 156, I think. And then, oh my gosh, that's actually so. Here's the thing. I think the way you created space was like really, really reasonable, right? Like you obviously, but you lost the fight anyway. So this is where you have to do a little bit of mental gymnastics. You ready? Okay. Number one, are you the reason necessarily why you lost the fight there?
I don't really think I am, but
right.
I probably could have played a little bit better by
right.
punishing the Doom, maybe.
Right. But this is why you can't look at it on a fight-by-fight basis, because my question to you is your priority there punishing Doom or beating the ever-living crap out of the Bastion and Soldier who are killable with the Power Punch? You see what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
You see what I'm saying? I think you should be going for backline there, you know? I think that Doomfist went in aggressive, but that backline was also extremely punishable. I think what you did, and also when you did it, was probably the right play. It just didn't work out. You see what I'm saying? So the problem with playing to win every team fight based off of what the enemy team did is, okay, so like let's say you're like, oh, I should have punished the Doom. Okay, well then next game you're going to try and punish the Doom, and do you know what's going to kill your team? The Soldier and the Bastion. And so then what do you learn? Yeah, I don't know.
You'll learn that to get on the back line.
Right, and then
stuff like that.
You're going back and forth, right? Which one is better? Which one is better? Mm-hmm. I think going backline here made more sense because they were both aggressive. The backline was aggressive. The Doomfist is aggressive. Both were killable. But if we're thinking about from just an improvement mindset, okay, what could you have done better that would not have won you the team fight, but might win you future team fights? What could have been
backline.
Better? Okay, going on backline better. Okay, and then how did you perform last fight? Could you have waited for cooldowns?
Yeah, waited for cooldowns for a little bit at least.
Could you have hit your power punch? Right? You see what I'm saying? That's what you need to put emphasis on, because that sucks. But that's when you literally go unlucky, go next. But I need to practice on actually landing my power punch and actually making sure that I have my cooldowns when I go in, so they can actually threaten a kill. Would that have won you the fight? Probably not. But it will win you future fights. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's keep looking at that. Mercy, nice punish. She's and again, like if we look at this, I don't know if you saw the previous VOD review, but it's like all about aggression, right? Like look at this Mercy's aggression in comparison to the rest of her team. She's smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? Like look at this. Like look at how aggressive she is. She doesn't mean to be like this, but she ended up being way out of position, right? So then Doomfist is punishing the out of position target, right? Could you go on Bastion? Yes. But why would you go on Bastion when this target's even more killable? Because they're more out of position. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, this is a good play. This is a really good play. Okay. Now, is your team with you at this point in time?
Basically, they are.
Yeah. Nice. Is your team with you at this point in time?
Yeah, they're still with me.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, look at your Reaper, your Kiriko honor pushed up. So then anytime you go in hyper aggressive like this, Should be good to go. Nice. Nice. Power punch. Juicy. Really nice job. That looks good. Clean. All right. So that fight was easy. The previous fight was hard. That's the way it goes. All right. So what is your priority right now? Because I know what I'm going to see when I turn around. Right? What are you going to see?
Yeah. I see my teammates behind me.
You see?
The Ash is not set up though.
Yeah. And you see this?
Yeah.
Got
She's trying to get the card out.
We got a red flag. Because this is what we talked about, right? Where your hero, like a Tracer, like a Genji, like this Reaper, right? Can go anywhere at any point in time, right? You can do anything you want. That's a freedom, but that's also a huge risk. Because I think I know what you're going to do. I think you're going to go in hard. I think you're going to try and pop your ultimate. Now, that might work, right? Because you got your ultimate, right? But it also might not. And there's a higher chance of it not working than it should be. Why? Because where's my follow-up?
They're back. Like,
where's your healing?
Way back.
Right. Where's your healing? Where's your anti-nade? Where's your sleep dart in the enemy team? Where's your Ash shooting, blowing heads off, or your Bob or whatever, right? I don't know. It's a big problem here. Now, I understand this is complicated for you because your Reaper's going in, but this is not optimal at all. We're in. Suzu, you're in. What are you doing with the space right now? Are you creating space that actually matters right now? Again,
no,
not
100%.
No, you should you like? Let's put it this way: would it be a good time to start going in now? Looking at your team's position, look at the card. You see?
Yeah, right now would have been a good time.
But it's too late. You see that? You've used all your cooldowns, and you got your ult force before your team can even follow up. And this is why, like, we talked about this with Monkey too, but it's actually even more important with Doomfist because it's so much easier to cheat with Doomfist. But it's hard. But the funny thing is, it's actually a lot harder to get kills like this because everybody and their mother's looking at you. They're not distracted by your Ana. They're not distracted by your Kiriko. They're not distracted by your Ashe. They're all looking at you. I mean, heck, even the enemy Doomfist is going on you, right? You got a literal 5v1. And that's it. What did you get done? Jack.
Nothing.
You just used your ult. You did nothing. Now, let's break it down on a micro level, okay? Just for the sake of giggles, all right? We talked about cooldown usage earlier, not waiting for your cooldowns here. What do you see here? Anything? Anything major?
Really my position I see now.
Yeah, more positioning, but I think on a lesser extent, maybe a power punch here would have been better. What do you think?
Yeah. Power punch would have been a lot better because I was up there just to farm the power punch.
Yeah.
But I also saw a Reaper up, so I was like, maybe I should just engage with him.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna make it that. I'm not gonna be too hard on you because I know what you're saying. It's your Reaper kind of baited you. Just be aware, right? Just be aware. Make sure that make sure that if my timing is bad, it's because somebody else's timing was bad and I'm trying to help them. It's never me, right? I'm never gonna be the guy that's causing the timing to be bad. I'm just trying to help somebody else, right? And what's funny is like, look at your Reaper. Your Reaper ends up dying for it. Yeah. You get your ult force, your Reaper dies for it, and then your supports are sitting there like, what are we supposed to do about this? You know? Okay. I mean, this is just a lost fight. You guys screw it really bad with your timing. All right. There's a punch. All right. Time to go? What do you think?
Well, I'm nano, so I was like, I should just go in and do something.
Yeah, let's go back a little bit then.
But no, it's not really a good time to go in because the team is not up there.
Yeah.
Even though I'm nano.
It's better than last time though, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just got nanoed. Now, what do you think? It's okay.
A little bit.
It's okay.
Waiting a little bit.
It's okay. Okay, so you're like, oh, I got nanoed, so it's time to go, right? Well, why do you think you got nanoed? Why do you think you got nanoed? Look at your positioning before the fight starts, right? You see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you got nanoed, because your arm's like, I guess he's going, right? So you're like, okay, yeah, I got nanoed, so I need to go. But I think it's because even here, you're just like walking out before your team is fully set, right? And so then that's why you get nano, because your arm thinks you're ready to go. So it's not bad. Just something to keep in mind. So there's the nano. Nice kill. Mad. By the way,
I'm just mad at Kiriko as a character because
yeah, I hear you. All right, so let me ask you a question. Enemy team, best target to engage on. You get the kill here. You're cracked. Best target to engage on. You see?
What the hell?
Yeah. That's a helix jump right from here, right to here, and even more, so even that as well. The Bastion too, right? Because the problem with what you just did here is like, what's Kiriko gonna do 9 times out of 10?
Teleport.
She's gonna teleport, and then you're gonna feel real bad, aren't you? You need to know ahead of time who am I engaging on to create space, and that oftentimes is gonna be those fat slow targets or those skinny slow targets, right? Soldier, you can make his life miserable. Bastion is tough, but still make his life miserable. Ana, Zen, you know, those are your priority targets. Your first choice was to go to the Kiriko. My question is why did you go for the Kiriko? Well, the answer here is I don't think you knew where the soldier was. So
yeah, I didn't see the soldier. Plus,
Right.
I think she used Suzu before that
Okay,
fight.
okay,
even
good on
though-
you. Good on you. So you're paying attention to that. That's good. But I would prefer you to be. That's like paying attention to like the tiny little details, but missing the big one, which is where on earth is that soldier? Because you're right. You're like, I'm nanoed. I gotta go, but you don't know where the soldier is, and so then it's like, well, crap. And the funny thing is look at what the soldier does because he's in the aggressive position, because he doesn't get punished for it. Look at this. You see that? So not only does he not die, he actually ends up getting a kill from that position. He almost gets 2 kills from that position. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's your job as a tank. Your job as a tank to find who can I kill, number one, obviously. But also, is there anybody on the enemy team who's too aggressive that I could not only kill, but also could prevent from killing my team? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how much of a threat is that Kiriko to your team?
Not much.
Not much. Now, she's a valuable target if you can get her, but she's not that punishable, right? And she's not that aggressive on your team. That's why you prioritize things like Widowmakers, right, and Zenyatta's, because those heroes not only die easily, they're also lethal as all get out, right? Okay, let's keep going here. All right, now this is a really interesting one here. So you are going in. Do you think that you have the follow-up here? Let me give you some more context for this team fight here. Mercy dies late. A little bit of a bag. When they say get the bag, I guess that's what they meant, really. All right. Is there going to be follow-up on this here?
Just a little bit. Not a lot.
Not bad, right? Not bad. You knew where, look at the cart's position, look at your Reaper, look at your Kiriko, look at your Ana. And the funny thing is the follow-up is there too. Look at this. Sleep Dart, Anti-Nade, they're all looking at you. Damage is done, forces the Suzu. They're all looking at you, but guess what? Now your Reaper's close. And this is beautiful right here. This is exactly what we were missing in the previous fight. Check this out. Check this out. Remember, you lost fight of this. You didn't know where the soldier was previously, did you? Remember? Look what you do. You find the soldier. The soldier's in the aggressive position. What do you think the soldier would have done if you'd ignored him? To your team.
Would have killed one person at least.
At least, yeah. Your Reaper doesn't have Wraither. This Reaper is 100% dead. In fact, I think he might have been shooting Reaper. Let's actually see here. Maybe was he shooting? Yeah, he's shooting Reaper. You just saved your Reaper's life. You didn't even know it. You saved your Reaper's life, but not only that, even though you don't get the kill here. Oh, by the way, I think in terms of micro here, I think
I could have body blocked him.
Yeah. That being said, do you see the panic from here? Look at this Mercy. Look at this Kiriko. Kiriko's full focused in her ultimate on healing soldier. Mercy all the way over. Bastion all the way over. Right? You see what you've done to your team? Meanwhile, look at the rest of your team. Totally safe. That's tanking right there. You threaten to kill at a great time on a great target, cause complete chaos, and allow your team to do whatever they want. Now, if you guys lose this fight, that's gonna suck. However, you did fine, didn't you? Look at the space that your Reaper has, your Ana, your Kiriko. Your Ana and Kiriko and Reaper are inside the middle of their Kiriko ultimate. That's wild. Oh, oh man, that sucks. So yeah, I think we can look at this from like, yeah, this. Well, maybe. Oh, yes, nice.
Clutch factor just pulled up.
I guess
in
so.
that situation.
I guess so. Yeah, nice. Wait. Oh no, we didn't get the punch. I think we're still good though. Yeah, we cap. Nice. That was really good. So, like, we could talk about micro there, right? We could talk about your ability to hit shots, body blocking there. Maybe there's a better combo to do in that soldier. And I think these are some things you can look at yourself. But you went on at the most aggressive member of the enemy team that was also very killable at the right time. There's a 3-set checklist. If we're talking about disruption or assassination, who can I threaten to kill? Who's most aggressive? Who's easiest for me to threaten? And then can I do it at the same time when my team can actually capitalize off it? Because if you don't get the kill, like you saw there, you could get a heck load of space off of it. In fact, it's actually, in a way, it may have been actually better that that soldier survived because he demanded healing and attention for a long time. Whereas if he died, all the enemy team would have just turned on your team. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to think about it like that, but yeah. Okay, so they're on Hog now. So here's how you play around Hog. Well, you tell me. How do you play around Hog? Because obviously, like, in theory, you probably have a guess.
Switch Hog. No, I'm joking. Bait hooks, basically. Bait hooks, ignore them as much as possible.
Exactly. Can I avoid him entirely as much as I can? Now, here's the thing. If the entire enemy team all sits in a big powwow right here, all 5 of them stacking one giant clump, can you assassinate or isolate any one of them if they're all clumped up together?
It's possible if I get a nasty punch in.
Yeah, but it's hard.
Possible.
But it's hard. Okay, but then I'm going to ask you a question. If the enemy team all clumps up in one big sticky blue bundle, what do they lose? Do they want to do that? I mean, look at their comp.
They kind of do want to do that because of Moira heals, but they can't do that because of what they're playing. Like, do you see the Widow and the Mercy? They want to play spread out.
Right. And what's the problem with that when playing versus Doom?
Doom can just get a nice slam or a nice punch.
Yeah, and even if you don't get the kill on those two when they're playing split, it's one man going in and taking both the Mercy and the Widow and keeping them busy for a long time. Meanwhile, the stupid Roadhog, Bastion, and Moira got to deal with Reaper, Ashe, Kiriko, and Ana. You see what I'm saying? It's a 4v3. That's what you got to be looking for. Who's isolated? If nobody's isolated, then okay, maybe I'll just farm power punch, bait hooks, and just punch them in the middle. But they cannot be isolated versus you if you're playing properly. So like right now, I guess my question is there anybody isolated on the enemy team? You see what I'm saying? And it's Widow. But did you know that? Did you know that? Did you even
I didn't know they picked Widow until like right after I punched the Bastion.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like you didn't even know. And so how are you supposed to make the right decision about this if you didn't even know?
Hold tab.
Right. So I'm not saying this is going to be, it's just simple, easy, just do whatever, you're going to win. But you're not doing yourself any favors. Okay. Okay. Let's you got to look up for that one, by the way. That little.
Yeah, I was like wondering how do I.
You look up straight up in the air. Stand in the circle. Look straight up in the air. Yeah. So that's like one exception where like look how aggressive Roadhog is compared to the rest of his team. Punch him around a little bit, and then if he backs up, then what do you do?
He's going.
Yeah. You go hunting, right? You maybe punch this Bastion, or you just punch past to go up the elevator. Widow's got to run. They're trying to chase you, but they can't keep up with you because you're too fast. Widow runs away. You might maybe go grab Mega, maybe ult, I don't know, but you keep them on the run,
Yeah.
Whereas like right now, this just feels horrible, This is like this Widow's isolated, and you're stuck inside Hog range. You get the kill, but that Widow and Mercy are just completely isolated. Like we talked about this, like there's gonna be fights where like the Hog, you're gonna go hunt that Widow Mercy, and you know what the Hog's gonna do? He's gonna hook and kill 3 or 4 members of your team and kill them off, And that's gonna suck. But you can't do anything about that, right? You just have to do what you're supposed to do. The Hog is going to do what he's going to do. He's going to try and hook squishies in your team and kill off the squishies in your team. And you're going to do what you're going to do. You're going to go hunt his squishies and kill off squishies in his team. And it's going to be about which one of you does it more consistently and better. Because there's going to be some fights where the Roadhog's going to be ticked off. He's like, bro, I've been keeping these guys busy for so long and you guys can't peel a single Doom, right? And there's going to be fights where you're busy. We're like, man, I went on that Widow Mercy and all you guys can't even handle a single Hog. That's just how it happens. So it's going to be which one of you more consistently over the course of multiple team fights and even the course of multiple games, right, are able to consistently do your job better. But what's happening right now, little life hack here, little live view, right? What is this? She's like playing like Kovacs out here. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not. You haven't even sniffed at her up till at this point. There we go. Right? Do you think she wants to be here? No, look at this Mercy. Do you think she wants to be yellow beaming or she wants to be blue beaming, right? That's what we're talking about. And those also happen to be targets that you are really good at killing, right? You're not as good killing a Moira or a Roadhog. Ha, that's just crazy. You know, when a Widow hits a shot like this, it's just respect. You know what I'm saying? But make her hit those shots. This sucks for her, and she dies for it too. That was really, really good.
I was trying to like kill her, but I just couldn't aim.
That's okay.
To get the kill.
Nah, just get the reps. But you were doing your job, weren't you? Do you see how much chaos that caused? Completely. There's no way they clutched that out. Oh my gosh! Look at this guy. I think he just one tapped your Reaper. Holy crap! You just one tapped your Reaper. That's wild.
Yeah.
Check this out. Bang. Ouch. But again, you can't. You can't control that. You know. Nice. Oh wait, what? No way. All right, we gotta look at this. We gotta look at this from the micro perspective here. So, gotta respect Hook more. You know. Gotta respect Hook more. So that's 1. 2. Probably faster on the power punch here. You wait a little too long. See how low your HP gets it, and then that ends up me not able to get the kill. So I think some of your mistakes are just you need more reps on the hero, a little bit faster the power punch, a little bit more respect on the Roadhog hook. A lot of things get easier. Now here's a great question: who should you be on right now? Why are you not? Right? Why?
Because he's way too far out.
Yeah, he's out of position, right? This is what the enemy team was thinking about you on like first and second point sometimes when you're like way in front of your team just jumping in, right? You're not good versus Hog, but you don't care when he's doing stuff like this guy's dead. This guy's dead. Right? Way out of position. And there you go. There's the death. And again, Bastion here. Is Bastion the priority over Widowmaker? No. But look at the gap between Bastion's positioning and Widowmaker's positioning. You see what I'm saying?
And my team's positioning too.
Yeah.
They're like positioned close up. You might as well punish them.
Yeah. This guy's way out of position. So then now, stop shooting Mercy. Get your eyes on Widowmaker. And that's exactly what we do. Ha, crud.
I was trying so hard, man.
You're getting there. There you go. All right. Now Bastion maybe block, or maybe not even block. Yeah. But now Hog's way too aggressive. Bang. Oh, he got Suzu'd. What? All right. Now
that's why I hate that character so much.
Playing it safe. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, so again, I really truly don't feel like that your decision making there was too bad. I just think it comes down to mechanics where people just need to die a little bit faster, and this whole ordeal becomes a lot easier. Yeah. Okay. And I know that seems like such a lame thing, but I think it's 100% the issue here. Let's keep going. So, you have any questions so far?
How do I improve on the mechanics?
Okay. Well, you tell me. What do you think? How do you improve on Winston Primal mechanics?
You practice Winston Primal mechanics.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So with Doomfist, it's going to be, you might play some more Vaxa, maybe play some Tryhard. You're going to be that guy playing Doomfist in Deathmatch, you know what I'm saying? And then you just grind ranked, And I think it's going to be all about your efficiency at grinding the hero and just keep practicing. Don't waste any time. Don't rage swap Roadhog. Beat him over and over and over again. Okay. What else? What are you seeing so far from the first half? What are some things that you think need to be practicing besides just I need to practice mechanics? What else do we see?
My timing and when to go in. I
Yeah.
definitely need to hammer that down because
Yeah.
that's my main struggle.
Yeah, I agree.
Timing.
I agree. I think it's about like knowing where your team is positioned is the big one. You knowing where your team is positioned, and then also I think as well as making sure that you're prioritizing knowing who I need to go on to create the most space. Because the reason why you go on the Widowmaker isn't just because if I don't go on her, she's going to kill my team. But also if you go on the Roadhog, yeah, the Moira might heal him a little bit, but you're not really good versus that. It doesn't cause a lot of chaos. If you go on the Widowmaker, she's going to be screaming. Mercy's going to be screaming. Moira's turning around. Roadhog, you see what I'm saying? That's space right there. The more chaos that you cause, even if you don't kill the Widowmaker, the better it is. Unless this Widowmaker's just crack out of her mind. But, you know, you can't worry about that. All right, what do we got? Nice. A little bit of scouting. I respect it. Now, this is funny. Why are we punching Hog?
Because he's about to hook somebody, so if I just interrupt the hook.
Right. Look at his
He'll just
positioning compared to the
fall
rest of his
back.
team. You see what I'm saying?
Way too far out.
Right. This is the same thing we're talking about. Like, if you know where his team is positioned, you could make a decision about who to go for. If you went for backline here, probably not necessary because they're too defensive. This Roadhog is way too aggressive for his team, which means generally an easier punish here. Was that a hook I saw? I think it was hook. Did he just mess up his hook? Yeah. Okay, so we're good. There's a charge punch. Bang. Oh, that's actually... So this is, again, like this is just practice. You know what I'm saying? This happened on a third point with the Widowmaker as well. You see? You get your charge punch, you play it right, but what do? You punch a taxi. You know? This is like New York level road rage going on here. That sucks, right? And so now you got to give up space. But now, this is the interesting thing for you here. Okay, so 2 questions here. Number 1, do you need to be creating space right now, going in? Look at your team. Look at how your team is set up.
Not really.
Yeah. You see how your team has changed their positioning? You know? We're back here. Where are we playing for? We're playing for here. So if you go in here, your Torb is going to be like, what is he smoking? I can't shoot anything. What can your Torb do right now? Poke a little at Genji? Like, I don't know what he can do here. Okay, so that's problem number 1. Now, problem number 2 is who do you end up going for when you do this? Right? First off, you're not even fully healed. You see? You're punching out a Hog. Now, let me ask you right now. How aggressive are other members of the enemy team right now? See Genji?
Not aggressive at all.
You see Mercy? Right, they're just waiting, right? And also, Roadhog is not that aggressive either. So there's really nobody. So you just need to wait. You need to wait, you need to wait, you need to wait, and you probably need to go for somebody that's not Roadhog. And that's how you die. What would have been better? Let's just play this out a few seconds from a third person, all right? So they're going to they got to walk forward, right? They got to walk forward at some point, all right? Right now. You would go in right now, right?
Yeah, if I would have gone, I would have probably most likely go for that Bastion right there.
Yeah. Because the Bastion is really as aggressive as the Roadhog or the Genji right now. He just does it at a longer range. He's look at this guy. This guy's isolatable and killed. You can kill this guy. And if you don't kill this guy, what is he going to do? Is he going to shoot your team? No. Who's he going to shoot?
Shoot me.
Yeah, and what's the Sonic going to do?
I'm going to shoot her.
And what's this Mercy going to do?
Shoot the Bastion.
Right, and what's the Mercy going to do if she was alive?
It's going to vow to
right.
the Bastion.
Right. So my question then is how do you think this Genji Roadhog are going to feel? Look at this Roadhog's HP.
They're going to feel like nothing else is getting... Or
there's going to feel like no follow-up. Yeah, there's no healing. There's no follow-up. There's nothing. They'd be complaining, and it's because of you. Right? But you're not here. Your team's fixing to just win this fight without you. Oh, no. And look at the Bastion. The Bastion ends up clutching it out. That's the Bastion that you should have controlled. This guy right here is the guy that you should have controlled. And that's exactly why you lose. When you die... Enemy DPS can do whatever they want. The Widowmaker can do whatever she wants. Zenyatta can do whatever he wants. Ana can do whatever she wants. Roadhog even can do whatever he wants. And you're not a diva in terms of peeling, but you do threaten kills on anybody that gets too aggressive. That's what a tank does. Same thing as Winston, right? Nothing new. Sucks. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think, from your perspective here, you've made a lot of mistakes. Is this Roadhog playing hyper aggressive right now?
He kind of is, according to my team's backline. He kind of is being aggressive.
Kind of. Is there a whole lot that you could do here besides maybe punch him out of the hook?
Not much.
It's hard, isn't it? I would actually look at the enemy team and say, I don't think they're playing too aggressive at all. Maybe the Hog a little bit, but here's the thing. If the Hog or the Widowmaker hits a headshot and in a really, really passive position across the map, you can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? You go next. What I'm concerned about is if what we saw here earlier, with when you die to crap and then Bastion takes these aggressive off angles, or what we saw on third point where the Widowmaker's like completely by herself and you just let her breathe. You know, it's like right here. Okay, this sucks. Not gonna lie, but whatever. A lot of mechanics, and it's not just mechanics as well in terms of like, oh, you're just missing your shots. It's just like the hero doesn't feel fluid to you just yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's normal. Like it's not just a newer hero, but you're like, oh, you play a lot of Doomfist. Yeah, well, like Doomfist in this game, obviously, as you know, totally different. All right. Miss Slam sucks. There's your ult. Now I'm gonna ask you a question. Right here, what's the problem? If I
going
turn
into the Hog and the Ana.
You see? What are these guys doing right now? Jack all.
They're trying to like position.
Right. They're trying to position. They don't have time to do anything. They can't even help you. They can't shoot the Bastion, they can't shoot the Mercy, they can't help you, they can't do anything. So you're going all the way in, and 3, 2, 1. Now your team is doing something. Look at your Torb, right? Look at your Bastion. But what's the problem? By the time they start doing something, you're already mid-ult. In fact, you're backing out, or you think about backing out when they're going in. You see? It's like you are blessed with mobility and you're abusing it. And I think that's causing a lot of issues with your team. So instead of saying, okay, you're screwing up. Okay, so what would have been better here? What would have been better? All right? So your Bash is out. This Roadhog is out of position. What's the play? What's the play? Look at your team.
Maybe punch him, but also be with the team.
Yeah, punch him, knock him back. When he backs off to here, so you almost die here, but okay, he backs off here. You see Ana, you see Roadhog backing off. What do you do now?
Back off.
Back off, and then what do you look for?
Look for someone else, like the Bastion or the Genji.
Yeah. Look for the Bastion, look for the Genji, look for the Mercy. Maybe look for an Ana on a different angle on the Ana. And then you're like, all right, my team is back here. Okay, this is where we're playing, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to go up top here. I'm going to slam on this Bastion. Maybe I'm going to drop punch this Bastion, then ult. You know, but I'm going to actually play, but like you are like completely all the way in. 1, 2, 3 members of the enemy team turned on you. And who can your team shoot? I mean, you barely can even tickle a Bastion at this point in time. So again, like you were saying, a lot of it is a lot of timing. A lot of timing issues. And that just is why it feels like they could put so many resources. Like, whereas here, let's look at this here. Why does this work? Well, let's think. You see what's happening here? You can't hear it because of the stupid replay bug. That's a nano blade, right? So what's this? So what do you think the enemy team is thinking about right now? Let's help the nano blade. Let's push, guys. Genji, push. Hog, push. Right. And you're on the back line. You're ruining their day. That nano blade could kill 3 people, and you guys could still win this fight with respawns because you're trading backlines. And there's no follow-up, is there? Now, you can't help that, but guess what? You're going to do it again. And that Ana Mercy were completely out of the fight. And who did that? That was you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was perfect. That was not only good mechanically, that was also really good target. It was a really good timing. It was a really good setup. You're crazy. What are you doing? This is the mobility.
I thought I had something right there.
I thought you had something too, but I don't think you knew the Ana was there. But yeah, the Ana just shows up, and all of a sudden your team's like, we can't help this guy. Crap. And then we do. Yeah. And that's why, like, when I harp about timing so much, but the reason why I harp about timing so much is because I've been coaching a lot of Winston's, because I've been coaching a lot of Tracers, a lot of Genjis, and a lot of Doomfists. What do all those heroes have in common? Winston, Tracer, Doomfist, Genji. Timing, right? But consider their kits. Compare Winston to Reinhardt. Compare Tracer to, like, Cassidy, right? They're fast, you know? They're mobile.
Yeah. That's what Hottie told me about, like, playing ball. You're the fastest character in the game, but you also got to, like, limit that a little bit.
Right. Because if you could just play your own game, then you're going to die for it. So you have a lot of freedom to be wherever you want and to go whenever you want. But that also means that you could be out of touch with what's going on with your team. You don't play inside your team when you're playing Doomfist or Winston or Genji or Tracer or Wrecking Ball, right? You don't play with your team, but you do play at the same time as your team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You play a split, but together at the same time. And that's the problem here. Is like you have this freedom to do whatever you want, so you just think that the rules don't apply to me, and then you're getting bit in the butt by it. That's the key thing. When you're playing a Reinhardt, it's easy to be good timed because you're generally near your team. When you're playing Cassidy or Moira, you don't have to think about timing near as much because you're taking these little tiny off angles, or you're playing with your team. It's easy. You can see everybody. But with Doomfist, you can't see everybody all the time, can you? So you gotta find a way to. You have to find a way to be better. You gotta find a way to be better. So
that's why I win more games on Ryan compared to my other teams.
Yeah, it's harder to mess up your timing, right? It's harder to mess up your timing. So it's a high risk, high reward play style. But if you don't understand that, you're gonna get screwed. Now I'm gonna ask you something right now. What do you think about your timing right now? Do you know what's happening to your right?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening either. So I think your timing is going to be good because I think the Roadhog and Moira are pushing at the same time. So I think if you distract these two guys, it's going to be a good trade. But I don't know that, and you don't know that either. And sure enough, Roadhog, Moira haven't moved. So everything that you're doing here is respectfully a complete waste of time. In fact, you're going to die for it. Oh, you should have died for it. Oh, you are dead for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at this from a third person perspective here, who in your team is helping you right now? Nobody can do anything. Your Torb can't do anything. Now, if Roadhog and Moira drop, and your Torb starts shooting them, the Kiriko starts shooting them, the Bastion starts shooting them, Mercy starts shooting them, then do you think you're going to die here when you get slept?
No.
Nah, no way. You're totally safe. That's my point exactly, isn't it? That's my point. Whereas here, they can all put all their attention on you, and you're like, where's my team at? Well, yeah, here's your team. They can't do anything. My favorite part about the replay code, by the way, little fun fact about the replay code here. Do you see this movement on your screen here after you died? You see this?
Yeah.
That's tracking your mouse movements in real time. So whatever you're doing at that point in time after you died, it picks up on your screen. And you know how I figured this out? When I was reviewing this Overwatch League players, and they would do I would see this. And then I'd look at them, and they were doing exactly that with their mouse. And I realized, like, so different players have different habits after they die. It's kind of funny, but yeah, you turned down, you looked at the floor, like you moved your mouse down or whatever. Oh, it's kind of funny. Anyway, I mean, obviously timing here is good, right? I mean, look at that hog, right? Right? Look at your Torb. There's stuff happening on, right? So you do whatever you want. So it's all gonna be about now. Are you choosing the right targets? Think this is okay. Roadhog is way too aggressive. Gonna try and punish him. Ah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, that's just mechanics. Just a little bit of mechanics, maybe cooldown usage. I don't want to focus too much on that because that's such a complicated thing, you know, and just need time.
Yeah.
Just be careful, right? Be careful. Again, like, you know where their team is, you know where your team is. We still got people in spawn. Just be careful. This is good because you're not peeking the people in front of you. You're hiding. Nice. 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 That's okay. You died for that. We're good with that. All right. Let's see here. Ha! Whoa, you got it. Nice, nice, nice. You could do that too in the splash as well, but looking up directly, I think works better. I think works better.
I'll try that out.
Yeah, I would test it. Don't take my word for it. All right, here we go. Now, let me ask you something. If you go, obviously you don't have cooldowns now, but if you go in, is there going to be follow-up behind you?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because someone died on the team, so the team's likely to look to fall back.
Right. So let's see. Oh, we Suzu or Kiriko. Oh no. Good intention there. I think if you do get the power punch, you might shut down that nano blade, but it just doesn't work out. Nice kill though. Big kill. That's a huge kill. Very winnable fight now. Nice. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. So let's maybe set up for next fight. I think, like, look at the enemy comp. Who are your priority targets here? Hog is difficult.
Bastion.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
think it's just hunt Bastion, and then obviously if you hear Sleep Dart, you can go for Ana all day long. But yeah, Bastion's the low hanging fruit. Like Bastion, if he has turret, can do okay versus you because he gets that damage reduction. But he's such an easy target to hit with your shots. He's such an easy target to hit with your punch. Like I think it can kind of ruin his day. Careful. If anything here, what are you trying to do here? If anything, what's the plan? You're not getting a kill.
I think the plan right there is just try to get like Chips just said one time, and in the video, try to get a lucky damage spam into the power punch,
Yeah.
the power block, so you get a punch.
Yeah, exactly. So you're playing to like, I'm not gonna get slept, I'm not gonna get hooked, but I'm trying to farm power punch, right? So my question for you is then like, what's this? You know, what's that?
That's just me griefing.
Right. Just be careful. Uh-oh. Because do you think this is where your team wants to fight, right? Right around this area, right? So you need to be setting up around that. So my question for you is then is like, is this the best position for that? Maybe. What about here? You know, maybe. What about here? Maybe. You know, I think a lot of your positioning choices for setting up for the next fight are just kind of like accidental. You know, you're not thinking about where your team is positioned. You're just kind of just feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I'm too much in my head. That's what I notice when I'm in game. I'm too much in my head.
no, what do you mean
I think
too much
about
in your
me.
head?
What I mean by that is that I'm focused on myself. A lot of the times I'm focused on, doing my thing and making sure I'm playing correctly. But I think I do that too much to the point where I just forget about who's behind me, who's with me.
And the thing is too is like when should you be thinking about where your team is positioned? Like let's go back to here, right? Okay, so like let's see here. So like right now, it's going crazy, right? Like let's actually pick a better fight here. Let's go like here. Like right now, you're not thinking about your team right now, right? This is crazy, right? Fight's happening, right? You don't have time to think about that stuff. But what about now? Do you have time now to think about it?
Yes.
Yeah. So then we skip forward a little bit, all right? When you're in the middle, you should be thinking about you, especially with a hero as mechanically intensive as Doomfist. But like right now, you should be thinking about where's my team? Where are we setting up? Where are we fighting? Right? And so then when we get to the team fight, right now, you could just focus on mechanics right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you know where your team is positioned. You're all set. You've paid attention. You've done your homework. So then when you get into the fight, you could just chill and play the game. You don't have to think about all that stuff. But that's why you do it before fights, so that when you are just chilling, playing the game, you're doing it in the right way. And let's actually think about this. What do you think about the setup here? Is this good? Do you like where we're at?
I like this setup a lot.
I do too.
Even though, actually, I like it a lot. Actually,
I do too. You got a nice vision. You could see. Look, you could see your team. You could see when the team fight happens. You could choose your target. Why are you not going on Bastion here? And why are you going on Hog? You see the gap here? Huh.
Yeah.
Could you go for Bastion here? Yeah. But look how defensive he's playing. And look at how much this guy's feeding. You know what I'm saying? And you could see that from your positioning. And so you get a nice little punch here. Even if he does land the hook there, he probably gets punished. All right, good. Can your team follow up off of this? I mean, look at that, right? It's not perfect, but there are people there, right? There are people there. That's what we want to see. It's not perfect, but it's something. Reaper's pushing up. Do you know where your team is right now? I hope so. Looks okay so far, right?
Yeah, it looks okay.
Uh-oh.
Try to punch the Bastion in a little bit.
Yeah, that's just mechanics, to be honest with you. Bad cooldown usage. Because like you're up here, you lose track of Ana, she sleeps you. Unlucky. You could power punch this immediately, but you wait to power block. Look at your HP here. So you're down 260 HP, you know, before you power block. So it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then we ult. There's the Nano Bastion, but it's too late at this point in time. So, what do you see? What do you see?
I see a lot of like mechanical issues, but also a massive amount of like awareness as to where my team is at.
So what's the solutions here? Because there's not just
Just
one solution.
eruption.
All right, so just reps, right? Reps is one of them. What are the other solutions? When you're going into a game, what are you thinking?
thinking, okay, what my team is playing, where is my team playing, how my team is going to play that position.
Yeah. 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 So before the fight, right? When you're finding that downtime to think about it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then in fight, what are you thinking about?
How can I increase the chances of us winning the fight?
Sure.
Like, how can I position?
Sure. What
and stuff
targets
like
should I
that?
be going for? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for you, it's going to be all about trying to find time before the fight starts to make sure that you're set up in the right spot to fight. And then when the fight actually starts, am I in the right target? And am I engaging the right way? That's when we start to think about all the cooldown usage. Oh, should I have E'd there? I should have punched there, or I was on the wrong target. I shouldn't have canceled my slam there, or I should have used my ult earlier. That stuff is super complicated. But set yourself up for success and thinking about those decisions, but making sure every fight you know where your team is situated, so you're not overextending over and over and over again. But remember, the question is they're out of position, right? So I'm going to punish them. Let's make sure that you are never out of position by being super, super aggressive when your team is being super, super defensive. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the gap we got to close. All right. Do you have any questions?
Is there any like Doom replay codes that you could recommend?
That's a good question.
If you know them, of course.
Off the top of my head, no. I mean, you've heard of Zebra, obviously, I'm sure. Have you watched much of his stuff?
No, not a lot.
I'd give it a
I
check.
haven't watched any of the players.
I'd give it a check. I'd check out Zebra, probably. I think is probably the more mechanically good one at the moment. And I think what I would use for Zebra is, try and ignore the flashy rollouts, but I would pay attention to like what he's actually doing versus certain comps. Like, how is he playing around Roadhog? How is he playing around Orisa? What's he doing versus a Widowmaker comp? How does he play around Bastion? You know what I'm saying? The timing is going to be there most of the time. Pro players even mess that up sometimes. And, obviously seeing him click heads and punch 3 people off the map is going to be fun. But I think just in general, just like look at his playstyle versus certain compositions and try and think about like, how would I have played that? What do I think? And try before the round even starts. As soon as you see comp, try and guess who he's going to go for. You know what I'm saying? That could be a good. That could be a good habit. And because don't just sit there and AFK watch just for giggles. Try and treat it like homework. Like, okay, who's he going to go for? How do I think he's going to use his abilities, and see if he can predict it and see what happens. He might mess
basically
up.
Bob reviewing Zebra.
Yeah, exactly. See if he could find some mistakes. Oh no, his timing was bad there. I could just tell he was like way ahead of his team. Or oh no, he messed up his power block usage there. I think he could do that. I mean, you'd be surprised. And then try when you try and see him predict what he's going to do. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. I think you get a lot out of that, especially because you're like we talked about timing a lot, but also like you were saying, your mechanics of the hero aren't great either. Not just your clicking heads, you just aren't comfortable with the hero yet. And I think one of the things you could do is just learn by someone who's playing it better than you. All right, do you have any other questions?
That'll be it, actually.
Right.
Yeah, you basically answer all my questions.
All right, keep in touch, and if you do have any questions, shoot me a message, and I'll get back to you when I can. And you know the replay code rule? Just shoot me replay code with any timestamps in any game where you're like, I didn't know what to do here. I'm not sure what I was supposed to do here. Just shoot me the replay code with timestamps, and I'll get back to you in a couple of days.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with your training schedule as well. I know with work, trust me, I know how hard it is to like set goals with stuff and be like, stuff comes up and it's like sucks. And then obviously like you're swapping heroes, and so it feels like you're constantly resetting. But like that's how it goes. It's still fun to learn though, It's still fun to learn. But all right, mate. Keep in touch, all right? Have a good Christmas, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Cheers, brother. Have a good one. See ya. All right, that was Quiet Josh, the Doomfist extraordinaire. And we got one more vibe review. We are almost done. I realized I turned off my Streamlab notifications. I actually need to fix that. Because I did it for Buff Hardtech stream. But yeah. Yeah, I hear you, Varashi. All right, let's do this. Coffee, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Is it Rumbly Coffee, or do you prefer being called something else?
You can go with coffee.
Coffee. All right, I like it. All right, let's take a look at these VODs here. So you are the tank extraordinaire, looks like.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, what rank are you at the moment?
Right now I'm Plat, but I was Diamond last season.
All right, so we're just gonna put Diamond because screw the new Overwatch 2 ranking system, respectfully. But
Yeah.
I saw something on Cal today, competitive Overwatch Reddit, and they're like saying like how to play like something like an average like 140 something games to find your true rank because it's like
That's
three.
crazy.
It's like, come on, who thought this was a good idea? All right. Anyway, let's check this out. So, I guess we can pull up the replay. What replay code do you think we're gonna start with?
I think Sigma.
All right.
Like, Winston, I enjoyed playing a lot, but it's been kind of hard in this meta. Maybe if we could take a little look at that one towards the end.
Okay, we'll see what we got.
I've been forced to play a lot of Hog, so
Sure. Okay. Let's take a look at your form here then. So what do you hope to get out of this session here? How did you hear about me?
So I joined my team at school, and one of my friends sent me your Fearless review for Winston. So I watched that, and then I started watching your coaching, and I just wanted like get another perspective to see what
Sure.
I'm not seeing about my play.
Okay, sounds good. Let's take a look at the rest of your form here. So, Diamond player, generally tank here. You plan what tip you guys? So a better awareness of the mistakes, like I said, another perspective, maybe noticing my gameplay and advice how to play so I can enable my team better rather than getting tunnel visioned and being over aggressive. You elaborate on that one a little bit for me.
Yeah, I think I know generally what I'm supposed to do, but I assume my teammates do as well. So like I do that, and then I don't realize where my teammates are positioned.
Did you see the previous review?
A little bit.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that with Doomfist. That's a tank problem, you know, especially when you're frontlining. It's like you don't have eyes in the back of your head, so it's like you got to be the mom. You always checking around.
It's a little easier when people calm, but often people don't. So it's like
Right. And even on a hero like Sigma, where it's like, you're not gonna be going for crazy off angles most of the time versus most compositions, but it's still hard to like, you know, waste shield because I thought my Hanzo was gonna peek this. You know, it's like nailing that is really tricky. Okay, so at the very least, you're very aware of that being a priority issue, so that's going to make my job a lot easier. Let's keep here. Okay, so this is interesting. I play at a small college team around 3.4 and usually scrim 3.6, 3.7. So how is that going? How did that get started? And do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's really fun. So I'm a sophomore. I didn't join last year, but my friend is like GM. So he wanted to join the team, and he's like, they need a tank. He's a tank player actually, but they didn't have a support, and he also plays support, so he went over to support and dragged me over there. It's a different to learn how to play with a team.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of learning struggles there, but
yeah,
I think it's improved my play. Like I'm taking the game more seriously now and climbed to Diamond.
Yeah,
where
cool.
the last season of Overwatch, I was only like gold.
Was this Overwatch 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, first off, congratulations on that. Well done. And why do you think it's pushed you? Has it just been kind of like been in the environment where like playing within a team is fun and you want to kind of like perform well for your teammates, or like what do you think is like actually motivated you? Or is it also like Overwatch 2 is also kind of fun?
Yeah, I prefer Overwatch 2 for tank. I mean, I missed like tank duos and all that, but
yeah,
it's a different style, and I feel like my play has more impact. And also, I play with some higher players, like a top 500 support. So like I want to improve to their level, and especially because I'm filling in for a better tank, I want to like, make him proud.
Right. So there's all sorts of internal and external motivations. Okay, fair enough. Sounds good. How often do you guys scrim?
Right. As of late, we haven't scrimmed as much, but I just had a scrim like yesterday, and we usually scrim like 2 to 3 times a week.
How do those usually go? You said you scrim about 200 SR higher than the average?
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty well. The last scrim was rough because we're running Ramatra, and I hadn't touched him at all. So that was rough.
Why? What's wrong with you? Just not like Ramatra?
No, I just haven't played quick play enough.
Got it. Okay, well, you need to get to be the quick play warrior, I guess. Like that's clearly an issue. Come on, what's wrong with you? Yeah, I know. I hear you. I think it's also kind of interesting as well to like to see how many adjustments he's going to take. What do you think of his changes, by the way? The speed stuff.
I think that makes him kind of scary in his ult.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking
has
this.
trouble running down on people, but
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so what kind of a role do you fill in your team in terms of communication? So you are the tank player.
Yeah.
But you're also recently gold, not a lot of experience in team play previous to this, so there's like conflicting factors here. So where do you kind of fall?
I like to calm a lot in like competitive. But with my team, I struggle a little bit with calming because they want me to calm, but like I don't know exactly what to do in the team environment. So it's sometimes I calm a lot, sometimes I don't.
Is it more to do with like the confidence of you knowing your role or you knowing the hero, or is it other factors?
I think it's a little bit like I don't know if I know the right play here compared to them.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm on heroes I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah. Okay. What I would recommend is this. I think like certainly I don't think it's good, especially if you're playing in a lobby where you are one of like you're playing with the GM friend, right? That's the so that person's probably gonna know a little bit more about like what the right player, the right situation is. So I think learning from them during that team situation is good. But what I would recommend is at the very least just calm when you are doing something. Like I'm spamming here, or I'm going in, or I'm engaging or pushing whatever. I think it's just a good general rule because regardless of whether you're you're the alpha Chad shot caller that knows everything about the game or not, I think the tank is still the lifeblood of like the cycle, right? Even on a hero like Sigma, when your Sigma is peaking, we need to be doing something at the same time. So just even calming, I'm spamming, I'm shooting, I'm pressuring, I'm doing this or whatever, just calling your timing with that will help your team do a little bit better. So I just recommend that you do that. There's obvious examples like Winston diving in, but there's less obvious examples with like the Sigma example as well. Like if you're burning shield, your team needs to be either using the shield or taking that time to shoot elsewhere, right? Because your shield is a distraction. Okay, so let's keep going here through the forum. Goals here. So I assume that these have like changed rather rapidly recently. I want to hit Masters in the short term. Okay, so you're going from gold player to aspirations for Masters. I haven't really thought about long-term goals. I want to eventually reach GM. So why Masters? Is that just like the next step from Diamond or what?
Yeah, I think that puts me a little more in line of like where we play.
Sure. Okay.
And I just want to climb up the ladder a bit. I guess, I don't know, I didn't really put this on there. I just want to be more comfortable playing on the teams. Like I feel like
yeah.
I can play at the level.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great motivation, especially if that's something that you're enjoying doing. Like, yeah, like you want to fit the shoes better. You don't want to be the low-ranked player, right? Okay, sounds good. All right, let's check this training week here. So mostly play weekends, 10 to 15 hours of comp, 2 to 3 scrims a week. So break that down on a day-to-day basis as best as you can.
It's really not like scheduled well, but
that's okay.
So like right now I'm on break from college, so I can play a little bit more often. There are days where I don't play at all, and then when I do play, I probably play for longer sessions.
Okay.
So maybe 1 or 2 weekdays I'll play. And then like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I play for longer stretches.
Okay. And then 2 to 3 scrims a week. What days are those usually?
Or like Tuesday, Thursday, and like as of late, you haven't been as consistent.
Yeah. But those are on weekdays, so that at least forces you to spread it out a little bit. All right. So I'm gonna do something I've never done before. You ready for this one?
Okay.
If you're familiar with any of my work, okay, coaching sessions in any way, you're probably going to know some of the suggestions and feedback that I've given when it comes to training, or at least you're probably vaguely familiar. All right.
Yeah.
So if I were to ask you, what's your New Year's resolution for your training? What's the low-hanging fruit, the atomic habit? In other words, the small adjustment that you're going to be able to stick with when it comes to your training week. I'm not talking about like I'm going to play the same amount of time every single day, every single week. That's absurd. Yeah. Nobody does that. So what's the smallest, lowest hanging fruit that you can think of?
I think I should play like more often, smaller sessions, because I find myself getting burnt out.
Right. Can you do that one easily enough without being like nitpicky about it? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not talking about breaking out a phone timer, but could you play 30 minutes longer and maybe 30 minutes less on your hard grind days? You know what I'm saying?
I could probably set myself like a game limit or something.
Yeah. I think even if it's just tiny, right? It's like I've been doing this with my sleep recently. I'm really horrible about it, and I'm like, all right, I'm just not gonna stay up. Like I very rarely stay up late. Every now and then I get on a roll, either playing Overwatch or working or video editing, and I just feel like I don't want to stop. But I never ever allowed to stay up past like 2:15. Mm-hmm. You know, and it used to be bad. It used to be like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But I haven't broken that rule in a long time, you know? So is 2 a.m. good? No, it's not good. Yeah. What is it?
I might need to implement that rule.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying, though, right? It's like it's hard to be like, I can't just tell myself I'm gonna be in bed at 10:30 every night. I'm just not quite there yet. I'm too weak, you know. But I could do that. I can do that. And then maybe we'll see from where that goes, and maybe my New Year's resolution will be able to bump that to a whopping 145, you know. But I'm gonna be better, you know, and I think that's like where we have to start here. You can't let perfection get in the way of improvement, because oftentimes improvement leads to perfection. You kind of see what I'm saying? I see this happen all the time when I was like coaching like fitness and workouts and stuff like that. I have a bunch of people come with New Year's resolutions. I'm gonna lose 100 pounds in the next 6 months, and I'm just like, well, that person's going to last about a week. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm at the gym 2 hours a day now, and I didn't go to the gym at all previous to that. And I'm like, well, that's not going to last long at all. You know, it's absurd. And I think that's like the same kind of thing with your sleep, but also the same kind of thing with your training schedule as well. All right. I mean, I'm coincidentally enough looking at your sleep schedule, and guess what? I have nothing to say. I'm just going to let you stew on that one. Okay. Let's look at your hero pool here. So, interestingly enough, I think tank hero pool is by far the hardest one to coach, because especially in Overwatch 2, and especially for somebody who's getting up in the ranks, right? We're talking about Diamond here, we want to get the Masters. And then even worse, somebody who's playing with a team where you will often be asked or required to play something that you're just not playing or used to playing at all. I can't sit here and be like, you only need to 2-trick or 3-trick heroes. You know, it's not going to happen. However, Zarya and D.Va first half of the season, more Monkey, Sigma, and Hog second half of the season, comfortable in all tanks except Ball. Okay. The key thing is dynamic hero pools, right? When you're a tank player. In other words, as tanks fall in and out of meta, specifically in your own scrim environment, that you pick up and drop tanks depending on their importance. And the other thing to keep in mind is that you retain your flavor. In other words, what would you say are your favorite tanks? Like if everything was meta, what would you play 24/7?
Man, that's tough. I think it used to be D.Va.
Yeah.
But Monkey is right there. I love the dive style, and I like how D.Va, she can peel a little more, so you have to like balance those play styles. Yeah,
okay, agreed. I think that is a popular opinion. D.Va and Winston are very popular heroes. Okay, so then that's something you need to factor in. If we get into a meta, for example, like the first season, where everybody's hard tricking Zarya, unless your team is requiring you to play, unless your team is like, let's say, hard OTPing Zarya, then you try and lean a little bit more into D.Va. And let's say your team is hard OTPing Zarya, then what 3 heroes are you playing? Well, hopefully Winston, Zarya, D.Va. And I hope that you're not playing Sigma or Roadhog, right? This season, do you like Sigma?
I do.
Okay. Do you like Roadhog? Well, okay, but let's get with the but first.
Man, it's just been, well, in the beginning it was frustrating against Doom players. I felt like it's got kind of bullied.
Do you play Doom?
I grinded Doom like really hard at the beginning of the season because I thought, oh, my team's gonna need me to play Doom, and I had barely touched them.
Yeah.
Then they nerfed Doom, and now we're not gonna play Doom.
Yeah. Okay. It's a mess, isn't it? It's always tricky. That's why it's going to be so important for you to just, whenever you can, lean into your strengths. And that goes for your team as well as in ranked. And sometimes it's going to suck because you're going to grind a hero for 2 or 3 weeks and then they're going to patch it and change it. But that's okay. What are you going to do the next? You're just going to grind another hero for 2 or 3 weeks. You're going to do it again. And that's fine. But that's going to be so much more efficient than somebody who's just kind of generally playing a little bit of everything and never really actually progressing. Because you got better at Doom, did you not?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. And guess what? That isn't going to go away. You're going to lose it. Yes, you're going to lose your edge. Yes, but by hard focusing on something, it's like called periodization, you internalize some of that knowledge, and you could drop Doom for a year and come back to him and still remember a lot of the same old muscle memory, a lot of the same old matchups that you learned by hard focusing on him for a period of time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I recommend. I recommend periodization. I remember dynamic hero pools. I recommend cycling based off of your team's needs, and then always leaning into to what you enjoy the most whenever you can. But I do not recommend the American buffet style of playing, where
That's
it's
kind of what I had until I started watching your stuff. I'm like, oh,
right,
I need to.
Right. And I've changed over time too, because also with the slower patch cycle, and also with OTPs being something like I coached fewer team players back then, so it was all about just like what's going to climb ranked, and I was like, basically 2-trick, 3-trick. That should be like the goal. But now I'm realizing that with the rapid patch cycles and a lot of people, needing to fill roles with teams, that's just not realistic. So I'm flexible as well. I've learned as well, and okay. Let's go to the last question here. So, what do you feel is holding you back? Very impatient, stubborn hero picks. Mechanics are okay, but room for improvement. Elaborate on very impatient, please. I have a feeling that ties into something we talked about almost immediately, which was the over-aggressive tunnel vision kind of thing.
Yeah. So especially with Doom, Monkey, heroes like that, I want to commit to dives, and I know I should wait for cooldowns sometimes, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm going. I'm not waiting for my team to set up. I just want to go.
And how did that go?
It doesn't usually go well.
Yeah. It's a mechanics test. You have to basically kill 6, otherwise you die over and over again. Okay. Why do you think that is? Is that just a ADHD, I always have to be doing something? Or is it just a bad habit that you don't purposely do, but you just you just kind of slip into, or what?
That's a good question. I don't know. I just always I hate waiting. I just want the fight to be happening all the time.
That's why people stagger in lower ranks. I think that I talked about that in one of my numerous stupid YouTube videos, where it's like, it's the Plat stagger where like people just can't not do nothing. It's bothersome. And I understand that very much so. I'm the Zen player, right? I'm always speaking for right clicks, So yeah, it's just something to be aware of, something to practice. And again, I would say we can apply the atomic habit mindset to that one as well, right? Okay, we're not going to make you we're not going to hold you upside down and beat you savagely with a stick every time you mess up your timing if it's not perfect. However, can we just make it so that you don't do something really stupid with timing? You know what I'm saying? Even if that's just one egregious team fight that you don't throw per map, that's still a team fight that you don't throw per map, and that's still technically improvement. And what we can also do is we could treat it like a heroin addiction, right? Where we go... It's got dark really fast. Where we go, don't do this, but do this instead. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like what we're gonna do is we're gonna get you doing like little calligraphy on the walls with your crosshair while you're waiting. Or thinking about your composition, or thinking about the enemy composition, or thinking about positioning, or checking your team's fight positioning, or doing ult tracking, or something. We'll keep you busy. If that is what's making you irritated and irate. Then we'll get you something. Okay, stubborn hero picks. We talked about this one a little bit, but this is not exactly what we talked about. What does this mean? Stubborn hero picks?
So if I feel like there's more hard counters with tank. It's like I don't want to play that rock paper scissors game sometimes. I want to play monkey.
Yeah.
And I try to play around it, but it's like I've been playing monkey, trying to play in this meta.
Yeah.
And I've had teams just go either Orisa or Hog, and then Bastion, Reaper, and I really can't do much here.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. Again, atomic habits, right? I think it's good to be stubborn to an extent and ranked around a hero pick if you are forcing yourself to adapt and experiment. You know what I'm saying? However, with the composition that you just described, Roadhog, Orisa, whatever, Bastion, Reaper, Moira, Lucio. No. Because there just isn't a lot that you're going to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they have not only countered you, they have developed their entire composition revolved around countering you. Mm-hmm. So then, you're going to have to adjust. That being said, though, how should you feel about yourself? If that's what you end up making them play,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good. That's a Frankenstein. Right, that's a Frankenstein comp. What is that abomination? And not only that, if you make half their team swap, does that Widowmaker player play a good Reaper? Do you think that Junkrat OTP plays a good Bastion? Do you think that that Sigma one trick plays a good Roadhog? I don't know. Probably not. So you might swap off of a comfort pick that you really want to play, but you've just made multiple members of their team probably do the same thing. And 4 is not less than 1. 1 swap for you versus 3 or 4 for them usually means that you guys will have the advantage there. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you then turn around and counter swap that, right? So what would you play into that? Based off of the heroes that you're playing right now and the heroes that you enjoy. Right. And then that ruins their day, doesn't it? It's all over. So Yeah, I think again, atomic habits here. Same thing with the impatience. Like we don't expect perfection, but if there are maps and situations where you really truly there is nothing that you can do, they have swapped their entire thing around you. Then those are the games that you need to be counter swapping. I'm not saying okay they go Reaper, you need to swap off of Winston, but if they go Bastion, Reaper, and Roadhog and more, yeah, maybe worth considering. You see what I'm saying? Mechanics are okay, but room for improvement. Well, obviously, can be over aggressive and have tunnel vision. Nothing new here. Is there anything else that you want to go over that we haven't already talked about?
For now, I think that's about it.
Okay. Let's see here. You want to hop into the review?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. And I'm just praying that we have good bit rates because bit rate, and not only that, but also the audio. Because I'm so disappointed. I'm just gonna test it. Oh, it's working. Okay, thank goodness. It gets distorted. It's been happening since alpha. And it's reared its ugly head again recently. I'm not sure why. Wait a second. I just realized something. I changed this to system settings. That might be something that I might have adjusted. Okay, anyway, I'll have to test it later. All right, Sigma. What is Sigma good at?
He's very good at like poking, long range, just holding certain angles.
Compare him to the other tanks. What is he good at? Zarya, Reinhardt, Doomfist, Winston.
He doesn't want to brawl.
Yeah, he can.
Snipers.
But he doesn't want to as much, right? The range, right? What are my newest fourth pillar of Overwatch fundamentals, right? The range, and he is dominant. Maybe Ramatra is contesting him a little bit there now, but Sigma is, as of now, the king of range, and there's nothing that contests him. That's why when you play in Circuit Royale, Junker Town, oftentimes you're going to play Sigma. So, look at their comp. How can you leverage their range? There's a lot of things you can do, right? So what are you thinking? Team Red, what do you think?
A lot of pressure on their Sojourn.
Who else?
And then try and rock the Doom maybe.
Who else can you control? Who else can you spam?
Zen is really easy.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, let's see. So, if you land this rock, good value. If you don't land this rock, horrible value.
Yeah.
And there's a cost to this too, because it's not free damage, is it? Because what's happening at approximately, if we're to use military terms here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock.
They're all shooting me.
Right. And if they're not shooting you, they're shooting something else or taking space, no? So this is what we're scared of. And the problem here is if you don't hit this rock, then these guys are allowed to take space or not die or shoot your team. And that's oftentimes what you're better at controlling. Now, I would agree that a rock on Doom is great return on investment. However, if you don't hit the rock on Doom, your hero is much better spent looking elsewhere. You see what I'm saying? Especially, well, go ahead.
How do I know when to like turn on a monkey or something diving my team and when to poke out the other team?
Well, you tell me. You have to think about it.
I mean, if he's in a bad position, I guess it's easier to hit the rock.
Well, how do you know if he's in a bad position?
He doesn't have good LOS on his team.
Ooh, stop right there. Monkey or Doomfist dive in, and his team or their teams are here. Do you care about their backline?
Not as much. No.
Why? This keeps coming up in our reviews today. We've done 3 tank reviews, and aggression, and positioning gap has come up every single time.
So they won't be able to do much to my team, and they won't be able to help Doom as much.
Right. Exactly. So I want you to look at the situation right now, and tell me, does this backline deserve your attention?
Yeah, they'll be in the fight very soon.
I think so, yeah. So this one is much tougher. And not only that, how rockable is this Doomfist?
That's a tough rock.
It's a tough rock. Maybe it's still worth doing, but it's a tough rock. And now here's the thing with Doomfist. I'm going to add an extra layer of complexity. You ready for this one? Can you deal with backline and deal with Doomfist at the same time, to an extent?
I'd say so. If I shield off the backline, at least.
Yes, exactly. You can manage your shield. A Winston jumps your backline, you shield off backline, turn your attention on a Winston, hit the rock, and then you turn back to the backline. Now, what I would not say is as soon as you see a Winston bubble or you miss the opportunity to rock, ignore the Winston and focus backline. However, right now, I don't know. Let's see. Nice rock, but I would go as far to say, as quickly as you can. Like I would even have put my shield up before here. If you could predict or you know where they're going to be, use the shield. Because obviously the problem here is this, right? The problem here is, well, actually this is not a problem, but the soon to be this, right? So nice rock, but yes. Okay, now, this is tricky. And this is why positioning with Sigma matters. If you were on high ground here, could you prevent this Genji from being here?
Yeah.
Yes,
Easily.
but do you see the problem now? This is hard, right? Mm-hmm. Like realistically, you should hit these shots. However, it's hard. So then I'm gonna ask you a question. With your positioning with Doomfist, you do not have, or Sigma, you do not have the mobility to be anywhere that you want all the time. However, now you have time, do you not? So why are you here?
I don't know. I guess I liked holding this corner against their comp because it makes them come out in the open.
Could you do the same thing here?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Now I know what you're saying. I know you're saying that like I don't want to play like, you know, here. You know, this I don't have good sightlines, good spam angles, no nothing. But it's about, can I also be in a position that they might want to control, so then force them to push me? And the funny thing about that too is we talk about hitting rocks, right? If you are in the position where that's Doomfist or Winston is likely to go in the first place, it also makes this easier, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And now, this is exactly what we talked about. You're shielding off one angle and shooting the other. You see? Mm-hmm. You're missing every shot and looking like an idiot. However, this is good play. Yeah. And now, can you push this if you want to?
Probably.
Why?
Well, they don't have their Doomfist.
And they don't have their Genji. So, yes, your team is back here, but there is an opportunity here for you at least to test the waters, right? Push on. And this is, again, would be easier if you were on high ground. You see what I'm saying? Jump to here.
And I wouldn't have to walk. Yeah.
Right. I like what you're doing here, but it could be done much cleaner. And, oh, dear. Do I blame you for that? Yes, I do. But but it wasn't really your fault, but also, you know. Now this is interesting here. You are completely ignoring the Doomfist and shooting Soldier. Why?
He's more of a threat to my team.
Right. Well, also consider your hero. What do you prefer to do as a Sigma?
To poke out their long range heroes. Right. Exactly.
So I think this is a good example of where this is not an either or. Well, this really actually is exactly an either or, and that you're probably choosing. Yeah. Be careful about that. One volley and generally he's gonna have punch even after nerf. Now, this is interesting. The intention is there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know? Very interesting. Now, get your fat, flabby, old man, white butt up here and push these guys. Like, seriously, like, get off the floor. Not only is this... Yeah, this is atrocious. You're glued to the floor. You're the anti-gravity scientist. And yet I've never seen somebody so anchored in my entire life. It's like your theory of what you're doing is really good, but you're not executing it well. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again here, this is like a really funny example. Like you are just completely ignoring the Doomfist. Like he is on top of you, and you are just like, that's nice. Anyway, the Zenyatta here though, and I think if anything you should have been faster to shield here, but like this is the right play. Right, this is the right play. I might go as far to say that you probably should rock this guy, but I'm pleased. I'm pleased. By the way, little micro trick with Sigma here. Where should you be aiming these shots? Right here.
The corner, so if he peeks for cover, he gets it.
No. Think geometry. Think geometry. There's a max distance that your volley is going to travel, right? At which point it's going to explode. Right? Where your volley is going to explode if they did not reach any resistance. They'd explode like here, right? So that's not going to hit the Zenyatta. You see that?
So off the ground?
Right. So you need to make it so that you don't have to direct shoot them. So you need to aim them at the ground So then they will then bounce and either directly hit the Zenyatta if you get lucky, or they will explode here, in which case they'll still hit the Zenyatta with splash. You see what I'm saying? That's a very, very important skill to develop here. If you don't have a good wall, bounce off the ground on short-range targets, so you don't have to feel the range. It's more like mid-range, I think. Same thing would go with the soldier here as well, because like, yeah, like you miss, but also that's a really, really, really hard shot to hit. Nice. Still would have preferred the Doom with the rock there though. Now,
Oh, this is bad.
Now here's another reason why you should consider going high ground. Okay. The enemy team is going to look to push, right?
Yeah.
What are the best positions for the enemy soldier, for the enemy Zen, and for the enemy sojourn on this map?
Up on that high ground right there.
Are you in the best position that you possibly can to control that high ground?
No.
No. Now I will say that the weakness of this positioning here is that there's not a great corner. So I will say that I think if you were to get poked out here, you might need to drop to this corner here. However, that is a risk I'm willing to take at the ability to be able to control it. And now if we actually look at how you quote-unquote lose this fight, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're able to utilize that high ground in a way to put out more pressure than they otherwise would. No comment.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one.
Question. How much easier would this flux have been to execute from this positioning here?
Oh, so much easier.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have
Yeah. So, again, I think your theory here of who you're shooting, I think even is good. It's just, I don't think you're positioning yourself for success, okay? Also be aware of the stun still gives him punch. So if you rock him during his E, that's still, what is it, 110 damage, I think? He's gonna have punch. Yeah, so just be aware of that. So that there, I might, maybe don't even stun him. You know what I'm saying? Retake. I mean, this is the spectator disease. This is why Sigma sucks in so many maps, right? If you are not urgently retaking high ground, then you're gonna have trouble. Now you do have range, but yeah.
The replay is a little like laggy. Do I just refresh that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Here, I'll actually turn it off and turn it on again. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Now everything will be fixed. 4K.
That's beautiful.
128 frames per second. In fact, the graphics quality might just upgrade even beyond that. Now, here's the funny thing again. Do you see what's happening? You're spectating again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no, is there any downside to just going here, clearing this angle out, and then either preventing the Doomfist or discouraging the Doomfist from doing this, or, okay, he doesn't go. What do you do from here?
Yeah, no, there's no downside.
Yeah, you do the exact same thing that you normally do, but from a better position. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're doing a fine job of what you're of your idea of the hero, but it's just executed poorly. And then again here, do you see like how much value this cover has for this Zenyatta? Like, for crying out loud. Make the Doomfist punch you off of high ground, you know? Like make you could be the punching dummy all day long. But yeah, this is, oh no. Should be okay. This guy should die, right? Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna open up the floor to you. I don't know how the rest of this run goes. Do you think that you have internalized enough feedback for us to move on to the next hero? Because I know you had 3 replay codes. Or would you like to see more?
I think this maybe just take a little bit of attack.
Okay, let's check it out. I don't think we'll be able to get all 3, but I would like to at least get 2, you know?
Yeah.
So, where first attack or first fight, or where do you think? Do you remember? This is an older replay code, so it might be tough to remember.
First fight, I think it took a long time to win, but
Got it.
I did enough to win.
Okay.
So maybe second fight.
All right.
Like, just the second part.
All right. Okay. I mean, and the funny thing is coincidentally, why do you think this felt so bad on second? Without looking at your gameplay, why do you think second point Paraiso might be difficult?
It's always hard because you have to push high ground. And
Right. I mean, I'm telling you how to play around Sigma's weak points. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it's still a weak point, right? It's the ability, like if Doom punches you off a high ground, you're like, all right, yeah, I'll take that, but it's also like crap, you know, at the same time. So okay, let's keep going. I mean, we're trying. We'd like to see it. All right. Nice. All right. What do you think?
Nah, I don't know. I was lost in that fight.
To me, it just looks like a mixture of mechanics and bad luck. You hit a fine flux. You missed your rock of the Doomfist. This Zen should have died earlier. The Mercy should have died earlier. And the Doomfist just kills 6. I don't know. It happens. I think you started off in high ground. You were pressuring the right targets, and Doomfist passed you by like a train in the night. You did fine, right? Just stuff should have died faster. You know what I'm saying? So, like right here, let's go back. This is good. You're controlling space. You're controlling aggression. You're setting up to preemptively do whatever. You don't feed punch. Doomfist goes past you. You go to volley him. Now, this might be a waste, but it's not if you hit the rock right here, right? He avoids you. You miss the rock. Mercy's behind you. You miss the volley on the Zen a little bit. You flex a little bit late and end up missing the Zenyatta. Unlucky. You get the Mercy though. Mercy dies. You find the Zenyatta. You miss the shot. You manage to hit the rock and kill the Zenyatta. You recall the shield a little bit late. You're running for your life. Probably could have shifted there a little bit earlier. And if you're a little bit better, the Tracer dies as well. I mean, it sucks, but you basically almost killed 3 there solo.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. Could have been better. You want to watch one more, or do you want to call it there?
I think I understand.
Yeah, you're trying to control the correct targets. You just missed the rock and the Doomfist, and then afterwards, was the best word I would use is clunky. You know, could have been a lot more fluid and more lethal, but I wouldn't say it was bad Sigma play. You were doing the right things. You weren't chasing Doomfist around the map while the rest of the enemy team was just pummeling you in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Next VOD?
Yeah, I think the Hog one.
Let's do it.
I'd love to watch a Monkey one, but that was kind of at the end of a long session, and I think I just kind of
gotcha.
out.
So the low-hanging fruit there is probably more psychological than it is a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, let's restart Blizzard because Blizzard sucks. The applying update bug, and we're going to be here for a little while, so we got.
I got a DC, 2 DCs from that.
That's so annoying. So annoying. This is where we say small indie company and chortle.
Exactly.
That's never not funny. Okay, relaunching, connecting. I will start streaming. Nothing's being updated, Varashi. It's just bugged. For some reason, it does this. What? I don't know why I did that. I already know I have it. Okay, so New Queen Street, Roadhog. What is Roadhog good at?
He's getting the first pick. He gets pretty easy kills.
Okay.
And just staying alive.
Do it in an ethereal, juicy tank vernacular. What is Roadhog really good at? In terms of space.
I mean, his hook just makes people very scared. So it takes a lot of space.
So where should you be positioning yourself then? Obviously, in the interest of getting a kill, because kill's king.
I like to
right?
take flanks a lot.
Right. Okay. So kill's king. But something that when I was going on over with the Roadhog guide yesterday, we were talking about Blizzard World. Is it's also you can oftentimes even predict where the kills are going to be, or at the very least, create space by thinking what's the most valuable position on the map that an aggressive DPS player might want to use. Now, unfortunately, the enemy team is on like a weird Pharah Junkrat comp, right? However, let's play this fight out. Where do you think that Junkrat's going to try and go? Where do you think that Hog is going to try and go? Where do you think that Pharah is going to try and go? Where do you think that Kiriko is going to try and position? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is going to be like the homework for you. As soon as you see comp, as soon as you see the way they're positioned, is to consider these things. Now, right now, 3, 2, 1. You see?
Yeah.
Now, could you prevent this from happening? I don't know. This would take like lightning fast reflexes to see Junkrat. Oh, you're gonna try to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting that.
Yeah.
But if you could think about like what's the most powerful position on the map to control, then it will shift how you position. For example, right here, this is fine, but this is gonna end up being just a raw hog mirror. You know?
So where would the best place to go here be?
I don't know. To me, this isn't even really a clear example of where to go, so much as who to focus on.
Uh-huh.
So right now, when I think New Queen Street, I'm like, do I want to roll out Hero's Hog? Nah. Do I want to like hold Hero's Hog? Nah. Do I want to flank here with my Cassidy? Maybe. Do I want to sit here? I don't know. Instead, let's just ask the question that we've been asking all day today, which is, who is the most aggressive player on the enemy team right now?
Yeah, Junkrat.
Control. Can you control a Junkrat?
Yeah.
Yes, you freaking can. Can you control a Sombra? Maybe, sort of. Tracer, a little bit harder, right? But for crying out loud, you can control a Junkrat. Mm-hmm. And so while you are invested in here, which you have to at least respect so you don't get hooked, I want you to be doing the same thing you were with Sigma, the same thing that you do in any other tank, and assess who is aggressive here and beat the ever-living crap out of this idiot. Nice. Now, right here, what do you have to think about right now?
Who's the biggest threat, I guess?
Right. So, what are you focused on right now?
Hog.
Huh, you just chill. You're just playing the hog mirror right now. Just hit shots, hit your hook. Don't vape behind the corner or in front of him when he's got a hook. You know, the stupid hog micro that everyone's knows and known of for years. So, yeah, now it's just a mechanical game. I mean, I would argue that this is probably going for backline isn't even that important because you can just kill him straight through it anyway. But yeah, whatever. But whatever. There's 2 shots. Here comes the hook. And he's killable. Doesn't get killed, unlucky. But now, priorities adjust, don't they?
Yeah, Junkrat and Pharah.
Right. You're also down 1 at this point, too. So now, see, this is a great example of being a grade A fool, right? This is you, because what does this do?
Probably kill me.
Right. Worst case scenario, yes, but best case scenario, what does this do?
I don't just
nothing, right? Nothing. It does nothing. He's not going to die. There's no follow-up. Your team is dead. Your team is running away. So the only thing you should be doing here is either 1, running away, or number 2, get a pick. Go for DPS. This is just kind of autopilot, you know? Just pressing the hook button. Oh, there's a fat target. Let's hook that thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's a really, really bad habit to get into, is to get so obsessed with the hog war that you completely miss everything else that's happening on your screen, that you would have just, even if your hook accuracy plummets 10%. If you're hitting more impactful hooks that actually lead to better cooldown trades or better kills, I mean, right, you're just staggering right now. Like, really, you're just staggering. And there it is, right? Yep. Okay. It's really easy to get sucked into the hog versus hog mirror. And sometimes that's the best thing to do because the hog might be the most aggressive person on the enemy team. However, you know, we're not making that assessment. Right now, who should you be focusing on right now?
I don't know where everyone is.
Exactly. This guy, probably?
Yeah, Junkrat.
Or, you know, here?
Yep.
You know? If you hook this guy, he's done. It's dead. It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't bad. You are zoning backline while I assume this hog dies, but it's not that good either. Ooh. Who should you hook right now?
I mean, Fair, maybe?
Maybe. Who else could you hook?
I could try and go for the Well, Hog can probably die.
Yeah, just just hook the hog. Yeah, just hook the. Yeah, I mean, okay, your pixels here, but yeah, just hook the hog. Just hook the hog. I mean, even if he wasn't low, he's right in front of your team. He's more aggressive than the rest. I mean, this guy would be good too, but like, he's frontlining. He's trolling. You know?
Yeah.
It's over. This is where like you don't have to overthink it, and there it is. GG's. And obviously, we're talking a lot about hook because. But it's not just hook, right? It's also just your M1, your M2. Just even your general attention is put on that target. Ah, tragic. Okay, let's no, careful, right? We're talking about timing, right? And your impatience.
Yeah, I'm just walking for it. 'Cause I want this
So what should you be doing pre-fight? What should you be doing? Not even now, but
I mean, I might
now.
go for like a flank here.
I'll do you one better. Where's the fight gonna happen?
By cart.
Where's Cart?
Right behind me.
So fight's gonna happen right about here. So where should you position?
Right around that choke.
You could be. Whoops. You could be. Where are we at? Here. Here. Or you could be here, waiting to flank around behind.
Yep.
You could be here, walking up to here to flank around behind. Or you could just sit here, like we said. Or hit here and go cock-a-doodle-doo, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why that was the phrase I chose to use, but here we are. And, you know, you've got options here. You're not thinking about where the fight's happening. You're not thinking about where your team is going. And the thing is the reason why timing is so important is because it actually takes thought and effort to do it correctly. So you're talking about like, I don't want to do nothing. Well, I'm not asking you to do that, am I? I'm asking you to actually pay attention and think and make the right decision. So if we're talking about ADHD, let's turn the ADHD to engage on this because that's just really, really important. This downtime is not meant for taking long naps and smoking cigars. The downtime is used to decide what's going to be happening next. And right now, I'm not really very optimistic about what's going to happen next. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Accidental. You got two members of your team who are not even engaged in the fight at all. Ouch. Ouch. Now, right now, who's the most aggressive member of the enemy team, the one they need to be controlling right now?
Hog.
Hog, right. There's nothing here. I hope you knew that. Sure. 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 Not bad, right? Not bad. Especially considering how we started. Not bad. Alright. Get her, get her. Nice! Nice. Alright. Right now, what are you thinking?
I could pressure that hog, or it looks like there's Kariko and someone else right there. My team is not with me at all. Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, that's just my mindset of like, okay, who should I shoot next instead of
right. Who should you? How should? Well, see, the thing is like I want this combat to go smoothly, so you need as much information as you can. Those respawns are closer, so you need to assess this. You're not. Instead of thinking about shooting, you should be thinking about where to position next fight. And the funny thing is you're thinking about like, oh, I have to be thinking about this. Actually, I don't think you're thinking at all right now. I think you're just autopiloting. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So this isn't just an ADHD. This is a mental, I wouldn't say laziness, but a lack of engagement. Because this is not going to go well. I mean, it shouldn't go well. It might go well if you get a hook in this Moira. But really here, this should be a, maybe I fish for a hook in this Moira, and then I'm going to peace out for a second. And I'm going to wait 10 seconds, and then I'm going to reset. Right? Uh-oh.
Oh, actually, I think that's what I do.
Now what?
I would back off still because my team's not there.
Maybe not even back off. Just play it safe. Right?
Okay.
Just wait. You got enough members of your team. You're soldiers here. You're honest here. You're close. Uh-oh. Who's priority, by the way, right now?
Hog.
Hog. Why? Where's the rest of the enemy team?
Well, one of them's dead, and they might be in spawn. I'm not sure.
Right. Not aggressive.
I don't know how to do that.
It's okay. He dies. No way!
No idea what happened.
That's okay. I don't care. Doesn't matter. That's something. And see, like here, I would just hook right now. You know what I'm saying? Look at this guy. He's the most aggressive person on the enemy team. Cook him right now. Don't wait. Go. Take hours. Just hook him. Ah. You might have to peace out, my man. You might have to get out. You know? Worthless.
Yeah, I did it again.
You know, like look, it's not just you can feel why it's worthless. Let's try and like actually verbalize why we think it's worthless, okay? Because I don't know how to exactly describe it right now. So I'm gonna make you do it for me. Why is this worthless?
He's just not gonna die.
Right. How aggressive is he in comparison to the rest of his team?
Yeah, about the same.
About the same. And he's also the hardest target to kill. And also, you're at a point in time where what should your priority thought be right now?
To either just die on card or get out.
Right, get out! Get out! Right? If you hook a Junkrat here or a Far here, maybe it's a high risk, high reward play. But here, this is absurd. Absolutely absurd. Now what do you think?
I mean, now my team's back. We gotta kill or even.
Again, check the gap. You see? See the level of aggression here?
Yeah.
Now, Hog Hook seems reasonable. And shockingly, that's what happens. Right? You could make these reads. I think for you, it's going to be a little bit of like your intangible skill set of occupying yourself between fights with constructive productivity and preparation for the following engagement. Okay? But also, hook aggression. Herder, you know?
Yeah.
I think you're making a lot of bad reads here. And now it's just like, now it's what? Right. See who you're shooting now? This is good. Right. Who gives a rip about Kiriko? Not me. And you're doing fine. Like to be clear, like this is going kind of clunkily, and the Junkrat kills a Cassidy, but you know, whatever. You're doing your job. This is fine. Uh-oh.
I just like.
I'm sorry, this is just hilarious to me. Well, that's very unfortunate. Unlucky. Okay. Is what it is. Probably would have been better to just not even pop the hog ult there at all. Obviously, hindsight's 2020, but you know, whatever. We don't care. All right. Hey, look at there. They made the swap to Reaper off of Pharah. Well done. We always love to see it. That's always the highest compliment that could be played. Compliments from your enemies are always the most sincere. Isn't that how the saying goes? Well, here we go. Priority right now.
Moira.
Really
The only
right.
target.
Right. So we're all of a sudden we're thinking, well, now Moira is probably the most available target to kill, right? It's funny how oftentimes the most aggressive target is also the most killable target. You know what I'm saying? Let's oh. That's okay. I can live with that. You didn't land the hook, but shocking how he died, isn't it? Yeah. I would chill here. It's still just you and your soldier, I guess no. So just be careful. Priority. Let's say that your timing here was better. Okay. Priority.
Probably Junkrat.
Or Reaper.
Yeah,
What are the other?
Reaper's a little harder to kill.
Uh-oh. If only that was avoidable.
Yeah.
The dopamine just controlled me. Nice. So let's define aggression here. Aggression often is the most W-keyed person, right? But we have to be careful about using that as the only sole definition of aggression, because what else implies aggression?
I mean, isn't it a combination of like threat and positioning?
Yes, it's threat and positioning. Okay, right. So if a Moira's pushed up, but a Junkrat's also pushed up, Junkrat holds priority, and so on. Right. Now let's consider positioning. Positioning is how far forward they're pushed up, how close they are to you, or whatever. But also, let me present to you a scenario. You have a Roadhog pushing here, and a Roadhog behind. And you are, team blue, right? Which Roadhog's more threatening? The Roadhog here?
The one behind.
Right, or the one on the flank. Right. So I'm going to ask you, why do you as a Roadhog often find yourself contesting or using flanks?
Because it's easier to get hooks because they don't know where you're coming from.
And that's oftentimes where the people who are trying to kill you and your team will be. So then you end up not only setting up yourself up for success, but also preventing them from clutching you. That's how Roadhog creates space.
So there's kind of a similarity there between Sigma, right? Just like
there is. That's just space. Every tank does it in different ways, but for the most part, it's just flavors of the same theme. The difference between Roadhog, though, and the other tanks is oftentimes you're focusing a little bit less on controlling enemy aggression and more on enabling your own. Now, this map, has there been a lot of aggressive flank taking on the enemy team?
No, not really.
And has there been a lot of opportunities for you to take aggressive flanks in the enemy team?
Maybe a couple, but not.
Right, a couple opportunities, but not a ton. However, that's something to keep in mind, that just because it's not applicable right now doesn't mean that it's irrelevant. Especially, as you know. In fact, that's incredibly important a lot of times. All right. By the way, a little bit of Sigma thought process here. What if you went to high ground here and then dropped off later on?
Yeah, there's no negative because I'd end up where I am anyway. So.
Right. And then you can make a decision about where you want to push from there. I don't know. Something to consider. I think you're making pretty much the right decision. I think Roadhog's the most threatening here. We lost track of Reaper, which sucked. Stressful, isn't it? Complete chaos. Priority.
He's anti.
I don't know what that was. That was I'm gonna flick on a target wider than a Mack truck. It's okay. Joke's on you, that Hog was about to pull the craziest 80-80 strafe of his life, so that was probably the right play, Yeah, I was fixing to break everybody's ankles. Nice. No. Keep going. Stop. Reconsider. Right? Downtime. Where are we going?
Yeah, I should be either probably setting up back where same as last time.
Maybe you stay here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Should I focus on if their Hog's being very aggressive, is it better to deny him or go for flanks?
You tell me.
I feel like the safer play is to just deny him.
Okay. But is it the better play?
But there's probably more reward in going for flank.
Is there? You see what I'm saying? You're basically saying, is chocolate better if I like vanilla, or chocolate better or vanilla better? I don't know. It depends on which one you like more or which one that you're going to get more enjoyment out of. Right now, if you hold this flank here and you do a great job of it, you use great use of cover, your timing is good, you hit your hooks, you bait good attention, Moira's in, and Junkrat are all turning their attention to you. You hit one hook, maybe get a kill. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should have hooked the Hog. But how well are you going to do here?
That's
Cool. And not only that, but if you really want the answer to that question, you have to ask yourself the question: who gets rewarded for punishing backline more, me or the enemy Hog?
Maybe because their backline is more punishable.
Yeah, I think the Zenyatta is probably an easier to punish. They don't have cleanse, so I think probably flanking here is a better move. However, that's really the only... The answer to that question has more to do with the composition and less to do with, what should I do as a Roadhog 24/7 all the time? There is no black and white answer. It depends, doesn't it? So, I don't know. Let's see. But then you give it up. Uh-oh. Now, I think Reaper was the right call there, because look at how aggressive he was compared to the rest of his team, right? That's a great example of the hog doing what you're doing earlier, just actually just turning brain off and just hook, you know? Haha. Haha. Junkrat. Somebody help this man! Junkrat is so upset. Alright, downtime. Do you know what's going on?
Right now, I'm not thinking at all.
Yeah, yeah. So what should you be thinking about?
Where my team is and where they're gonna attack from.
Where should you position right now?
Probably I should back up because my Ana is not.
Okay, but I want more answers than that. Where?
Around that corner,
okay.
Where Mike could be coming from.
Okay, and then where would you go? Would you stay here? Would you go flank? Oh, that's the wrong button.
I would kind of stick in that room right there.
Yeah, so like here? Okay. But you need to be asking these questions, so it's not just about, oh, I need to know where my team is. It's also, you need to be thinking at a time where you want to position. That should be able to keep your mind engaged. Because right now, worthless. No sense of surprise. What if you wanted to flank and clutch? What if you needed to flank and clutch? What if they had a bunch of ultimates and you needed to go pop off and like kill that Moira before she runs you guys over with coalescence, you know? You're not thinking about these things. And I think like you would get a lot of reward for that type of thought process. Like we're just main botting right now. Now, is main botting right now the bad thing? Would it have been better to flank? I don't know.
Probably, I'd get a free hook on Moira.
Yeah, maybe playing main here is okay, but you came to that conclusion by accident, and you also didn't main bot properly well either. Whereas if you wanted to play main, you probably would have done so by playing like here, you know, or as you said, here, you know.
Yeah.
We're at least shooting the right targets, though. That's good. Ha 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 ha.
Just wait.
I'm waiting. I mean, we already missed a hook on a hog, so. But even like stuff like this, pressure and backline, not the most valuable, right? This hog is frontlining, completely in front of his team. If you hook him, he dies. Oh, I see where we're gonna go. Wait, what?
Not even on me, I'm just saying.
Wait, what? Oh no! Oh no! I was so confused. I was like, oh dear. Oh dear.
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's the biggest rip tire I have seen in Overwatch 2. Ever.
I have no idea what I did.
Oh no. Alright, well. Now we're backing off. Woo! Okay, back. Okay. Yes, please. No! Questionable. Okay. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna finish it off. Should you be flanking here? Looking for a flank hook?
There's probably a lot of value in that.
I think so too. I think it's a low risk, high reward thing at this point in time. I don't know. I'm not always saying that flanking necessarily is going to be something that's rewarded in this particular situation, but we're not even considering that. I would bet the farm. Huh. Oh, no. Okay, I can't imagine that the ending was pleasant. Okay, what are you seeing so far with your Roadhog?
I would say just being aware of where my team is, and also aware of like the most aggressive target. I think their Junkrat carried that game, and if I had put more pressure on him when he was available, I could have prevented that.
I think those are good skills to develop on all of your things in a way.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay.
Thinking downtime mainly.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do
Yeah,
next?
use it. Use it. That is a consistent theme with really all of our tanks today. Really, truly. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so
Sure.
self-voting. I
Mm.
haven't done a lot of it, but what would you suggest, like, kind of questions to ask? Because I feel like sometimes I'm just watching my gameplay. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I did that wrong, but I don't really know.
You're in luck.
Yeah.
You're in luck. So I have a YouTube cut that's going live later in the week. But here's what I will send you in the meantime. It's a little bit in depth. And if there's anything in here that doesn't feel fully explained, let me know. But I would give this a watch at 1.25. It will be worth your time. Goes in depth about self-review, the different types of self-review, how to start, what you're looking for, what to do when you don't know what to look for, and so on. And if any of those questions are not answered in there, just shoot them to me, direct message. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
So if I wanted to do another VOD review, because I know I'm gonna have to start playing a lot of the new character. How long do you suggest waiting?
I would put out in your form now, because that will probably end up being about a month, and that's what I would recommend. About a month. Give you about 3-4 weeks at least to practice the different things, to internalize and really develop the skill set, and then play things how the patch adjusts, what your team adjusts, and when you feel like you've kind of stagnated a little bit, then we'll give you a little kick in the pants. But I wouldn't recommend any sooner than that.
Okay, so you put the form in now, and then... Okay.
And I'll reach out to you within a week or so, and then we'll get you scheduled in sometime mid-January probably.
All right.
Any other questions?
I think that's it.
All right, mate. Keep in touch. Good work. Very, very nice job. Lots of things to work on. And Bo, last thing, do you know the replay code rule with shooting me?
I do, yes.
Okay, then you leverage that whenever you can. I'll be taking a week off for Christmas, but briefly after, I'll be able to look it over. All right, mate. Keep in touch. Have a wonderful rest of your day. All right.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers, mate. See ya. All right, that was Coffee, the tank extraordinaire. I guess just the tank extraordinaire. Chat, today has been the Tanks Day. I want to thank you all for your delightful presence. We're going to end stream quickly, shortly, and this is it. Merry, Merry Christmas to each and every single one of you, or whatever holiday you may celebrate. Merry Christmas for me, so that's what I'm celebrating. Loves and kisses. I will be not streaming until... When's the next stream? The next stream is the 29th, so 9 days from now. And then we'll be taking another short break for the New Year's, and we will be back on the 3rd. So the 29th and the 3rd, and then starting from the 3rd, we'll be on a normal schedule. Although I might be making some adjustments to stream out then. Have a wonderful time. Spend lots of time with your friends and family. They might be boring, but, you know, yeah. they deserve your love. Loves and kisses, guys. Merry Christmas to you all. Have a wonderful 9 days without me. Keep in mind that even I have a lot of YouTube scheduled off during the break, so YouTube will keep churning stuff out as well. So, bye, guys.